I mean, if it's interesting topic, but I mean, it.
Okay. But yeah, so two things about what you just said there, and you can jump back into it if you want. But uh, you haven't really traveled outside the country, I'm pretty sure. So, so here's the thing: is like it's not. I don't want to say it's normal in other countries, but like people get away with a lot of stuff in
Oh, I
other
know.
places. Like, you know what I mean? Like people, and like again, this is one of the reasons I'm like kind of against immigration as like a normalized thing. Like I think it's good to happen. I actually do like immigration. I just think that it's like done in a way that's not conducive to the way I want the world to go, if that makes any sense. And it's really just because there's just too many fucking people in the world. If you know what I mean? Like that's just a big thing. So,
Well, good thing they're working on frequency things and Fallout to rewrite your brain or
but
make it
but
explode.
but secondly, like a lot of the cops are just indifferent because they just follow orders and they've been ordered to
That's right.
like
Good
basically
soldiers follow orders.
if you don't have to do anything, don't do anything. That's pretty much the way that they're
That's right.
trained
Just
now. Hey,
just write a ticket and harass a black guy.
I mean, I hate to admit it, but yeah, I think that is yeah. Write a ticket to the white people, take the black people to jail. I mean, that's at least in the South. I mean, that's pretty much the way it was where I
I
grew
know.
up at. So,
That's why the cop only asked me if I ever been in trouble. I literally could have murdered someone. She didn't even run my social security number. White privilege, even though I'm not rich for it. I guess, being honorable and respectful and posturing yourself a certain way while you're holding a pair of nunchucks, maybe made my balls 10 times bigger to her. I don't know. I get what you're saying. As someone who has been a civil servant in a way, like having to go and I've been called for jury duty, even though they claimed it's random. I've been called for jury duty 3 times in my life. So much for random. I'm sure my birthday has nothing to do with it. But anyway, yeah, police don't care about your children. At least most of them don't. You get a rare few gems who have flesh, heart, and not mechanical. But from my interaction with the 3 police officers the other day, they didn't really seem to care about human trafficking or exploitation of children. So quite concerning. What are you going to do about it? Defund the police? What are we doing? Am I reiterating what happened? Oh, don't go quiet on me now, boy.
yeah, I know you're over there gooning, so I need to speak up. But Machine, do you have any take on what he said? And because I don't know. I mean, I just know that like the places that I've been in the world, like people do a lot of weird stuff that people just don't react to openly. They just kind of like avoid each other and don't say anything. You know what I mean? So,
Well, that's the illusion of America. You think you're safe here. As long as I got my gun and my beer and my Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. Like over here, obviously there's a problem with the cults, right? Over there, it's a problem of nepotism and corruption. Within the system, but maybe a certain type of nepotism might help the United States sort of get away from the cults, right? So it's like what they have in other countries that helps them, right? And what they don't have in the U.S., but what they do have in the U.S., is like a system that works, that where everybody along the chain has to do their own thing, right? Or else they get popped, right? So there's like overarching management, but the problem with that is a lot of cults can infiltrate because it's like,
Uh-oh.
You can just say, well, we're just doing the job. And, if a cult sort of hijacks it, right? So that's the thing is like you can take over strict controls, right? By like cultish behavior, just as you could take over cultish behavior through nepotism, right? So, I mean, it is what it is.
It's starting to sound a lot more like Fallout.
Yeah,
Buds,
I don't know if you
buds.
guys watched. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but that show is really good, honestly.
Yeah, it's really good when they're putting right in your fucking face again that they're messing with frequency to control people. But anyway, LARP away.
So when you say nepotism, can you give me an example of what you mean? Like in this, like, do you mean like with the police or with like,
Like I mean, like this guy got hired because I know him, not because of anything else. Because he's in my family. You know, he's my sister's brother's cousin. That's the only reason he gets hired, right? Like instead of like, so there's no
that's
actual
definitely
logic or reason why.
Well, see, this is one of the reasons why people don't like immigration in America. Because, like, and I'll give you an example. Like, for example, like if you go to the airport in San Francisco, right, it's almost all Filipino, and there's one reason why. Because one Filipino comes in and they're like, "I'll do anything to get my own family hired," right? So then it's like their entire family working in this one place.
Oh yeah, yeah. You see that at Dunkin' Donuts, where it's like it's all Hindus. Everybody's.
Oh yeah,
Hindu.
Yep. That's 100% correct. Yeah, there's there's a few places like that. Like there's a pizza shop that's a really famous chain.
Well, I guess that explains why every single street corner here in the ghetto is literal Indians who scam the black people. So, well,
the reason is because like to get a Dunkin' Donuts or to get a 7-Eleven, you don't have to do much to get a franchise. Like you just have to like follow certain protocols. See, that's the thing. It's like, that's why like cultish nepotistic behavior can like sort of cut through that system that they've made, right? Because it's like, yeah, okay, like if you pass the regulations, you get your own franchise, but then so it's really easy to get a franchise.
Yeah,
so their franchise spreads, but then anybody can own it.
Right, and that's the thing about franchise too, is like you don't make a lot of money, but you're basically kind of guaranteed like a certain level of income. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and then most white people don't want to do that because people always want more money, and there's not. It's really hard to like scale up a franchise and make it like super profitable.
Right. Whereas these guys, they're just trying to get their family in. They're trying to move more of their family in.
Right, exactly.
Like
so they don't care about the money.
Is that why none of them speak English? And when you hand them $2.50 for a pack of cigars, they don't know what $2.50 is, and look at you like you don't know what the fuck they're doing there. Oh,
there's some Mexicans who won't be able to speak English, but I'd be surprised if you find an Indian that doesn't speak English. Most of them can conversate at least. Because
I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a few, but
none of here might not be.
These people, you can tell most of these new guys, you can tell they're fresh out of the country. Their accents are so thick that you can tell that
they might not
fresh.
They might not be from India though. They might be.
No, I can tell you. I can tell you some of them are from Pakistan. You can hear them speaking Arabic.
No, people from Pakistan don't speak Arabic, buddy.
Well, whoever speaks Arabic, which one that is, Arabs.
That would be Arabs, not Indians. But so you're
people in the South don't know anything about geography. It's like
I just
well, I mean, when you have
speaking Arabic.
when you have 4 or 5 different people of different races all standing in the store and they're speaking back and forth in different languages, including Arabic, it's kind of hard to tell them apart. So no offense.
No, but I'm just letting you know right now because India and Pakistan are British colonies, so most of them will be able to speak English, whereas you'll meet a Spanish person.
I don't know. I just know that they got fucking AK-47s, and no one cares about it. So
people from India have AK-47s.
I can tell you, the guy up here at the store has a fucking pistol and a shotgun underneath his thing because of the black people up here. So I mean, they're not just the like little tiny ones who wear like big rim glasses and shorter than you are. These are like. I wouldn't say T-words, but I mean they're thugs. They're not your normal. They got tattoos everywhere. They're integrated, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not understanding the difference between an Indian and an Arab at this point. So you're looking across way different cultures, but
I don't know. His wife's got a dot on her head, and she's got tattoos. But
that's a Hindu. That's not a T word. That's a Hindu. That's not an Arab at all.
Yeah. So well, I've noticed that too. Like a lot of the a lot of the ones that live near me, they're not. I thought they were Indian at first, but I think they're actually from like Nepal or something like this. And a lot of them have a lot of tattoos, and a lot of them have like this kind of weird But a lot of Hindus are getting tattoos now. I've noticed that. I don't know.
I know, like that. That
No one
like
got the
Irish and
Harold and
Scottish,
Kumar joke.
like I know the Irish and Scottish like mix of the hillbilly versus the French Cajun. I know more about white people than they know for sure about us, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know the difference between a lot of that until pretty recently because, like, I just grew up around like what people say as white people, and almost everybody I knew was Scottish and Irish, and I didn't even know that mattered really. Because I was like, well, they're all like United Kingdom, right? So I was like, whatever, you know. But then you start looking, and then it's like, you know, like I'm actually mixed. I'm like Welsh and Scottish and English mixed essentially, and probably some other Native Americans too, but. But my point is that it's funny, like you said, like a lot of people from other countries can tell the difference between uh, us whiteys, but almost none of us can tell the difference. The only reason I can tell any difference is because I've just lived around it for
I think that might
almost
be
half
the
my life.
greatest like homeland security concern that exists, like in the country. Right? It's just that people just don't know about other places. So even if they were being invaded, they wouldn't even know by who.
Well, and almost nobody speaks more than one language too. I mean, honestly, I've learned different languages a little bit here and there, and like I'm not fluent in any of them, you know. So I've learned like a little bit of like 5 different languages, but I'm definitely not fluent in any
I
of them.
didn't decide to learn Hitler speak.
Well, don't worry, that's pretty much going extinct at this
I
point.
mean,
so.
I do know German. I just refuse to speak it because I sound too German. I wouldn't want to be called a Nazi. So
Well, don't worry, you'll be called one anyways. Even though there's probably no red-haired Yahtzees that I know of.
Hitler's, him speaking German, that was actually a stop. He spoke Arabic.
Yeah,
no.
like when I thought of Germans as a kid, I didn't think of like small mustache men. I thought of like girls that are like blonde with like giant thighs that wore like, those like polka clothes. I don't know.
I think I need to go to Germany now if that's what's over there.
That's what I was thinking of. I was like, yeah,
Leader.
I don't know. I've heard that Germany isn't doing too well right now. So
Well, that's the perfect time to go. I mean, you got to go when the stock is low. You got to buy low and sell high. I mean, come on.
must be the sins of the fathers.
Well, it's like Prager said, is like you can dislike the J, but if you hate us, well, what happened to Germany is going to happen to you. I mean, that's exactly what he said on Patrick Bet David's show.
Does anybody have anything against the country of Germany?
Their language is very harsh, and they didn't send any women to me. So other than that, I mean,
yeah, I would say like just like the German or the Japanese, like sort of proclivity towards industrialism. I find that sort of because they're sort of like people who are very scientifically oriented. So even in their like way of thinking, it's like very scientific, very technical, and that kind of stops them from thinking other ways.
Very interesting. I can see that for sure. Maybe Polish are like that too.
Oh yeah, Polish are definitely like that. They're like very like Polish women like like my like like my wife takes pictures and she'll just scowl. And it's just like she won't smile in pictures. Like this is Polish people, they'll just like
you're like, please smile, and they're like, and she's like, I am smiling.
Exactly.
No, I used to live around some like real Polish people, and yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah, they're
like
pretty
even
stoic,
like what's scary is like when they do smile, they're actually very scary people. Like they're like, because like you don't know, like they smiling because they want to do something to you, or are they smiling because yeah.
Exactly.
Stay away.
I knew 2 100% Polish people, and they smiled pretty regularly. Like, and I felt good about it. Yeah, they weren't planning anything.
You must be one of them Polish people.
Some might say that.
Yeah, you got on their good side. It is what it is.
No, I knew, it's funny because like when I growing up, there was always jokes about Polish people, but we didn't know any Polish people, so kind of weird. We were like, oh, okay. So like nobody actually knew a Polish person. Don't get close to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some like a really good like pierogies and like macaroni and cheese or something like that. It's pretty much
Yeah, their
off the
food is
chain.
amazing. Yeah,
I would be
it seemed
like,
very similar to Jewish food actually, or maybe it is Jewish food. I don't know.
There are a lot of Jews in Poland. Like they have like Poland, Lithuania, you know, like and like the eastern parts of Russia. There's like tons of Jews. It's like crazy. Like a lot of Jews are from there.
Well, that who's that guy? Who's that guy we're talking about? Southern Israelite. He made an argument, or he's made that documentary or whatever, saying like I think it was him or somebody else, saying like the everything about the immigration stuff is purely like a Jewish thing, and so they did it to get all the Eastern European Jews into America or something like that.
Yeah, that could be true. Like they need like a strong base, like in America. Like I think they can hide the religious Jews in America, you know, and then like have Israel just be a secular place. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird.
Well, it would make sense if they set up America from the beginning, that would actually make a lot of sense, right? And then you have the Mormons who are basically like spiritual Jays and
Yeah, like definitely America was like, see, this is the issue, is that America is on the one end a bastion of religious freedoms, but on the other end, and right, like it also is like more religious than Europe is, right? So like per capita, there's more religious people in the US than there is just like in Britain. But then also there's so many cults, right? Like this is where all the cults like, you know, proliferated. So it's kind of like, you know, so it's a total mixed bag in America. It's like religious toleration led to the cults, but it also led to a more like deeply like religious atmosphere, which is obviously because of Protestantism, right? There's no like, but there's a strong thing from the Puritans because see, the Puritans were popping out babies, right? So they had to trick. See, like Benjamin Franklin had to trick the Puritans into like producing a lot of babies, and also into like being religious. So he would like use the Protestant work ethic and like try to like get them to like stay at home, like, you know, like create like products and shit, like farm and shit and have a lot of babies, because he knew like if we increase the population, if we increase the number of American babies, then we'll be able to build up the country. Right. So like what he wanted is he wanted like America to like spread, you know, and he wanted like these like Puritan women to just keep having babies. So they
what
created
year?
like, a bunch of propaganda.
What
This
year
is
was
like when
he?
America started. Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, okay, yeah, because I live in the Puritan. I live in the Puritan state, they call it, and one of yeah. So that's it's very interesting to me that that's still going on like 300 years later or 250 years later. People are still identifying as
Well,
Puritan.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of what I realized is like one of the problems of America is that everything was done for like kind of pragmatic utilitarian reasons. So like they're like, well, let's just manipulate the Christians who are Puritans because we're deists and like they're never going to be enlightened like us. So let's just use them as cannon fodder for our empire and it'll be for their own good. And then as things fall apart over time, you know, they're like, well, that didn't work. So let's just keep using everybody for utilitarian. And it kind of like, I mean, again, it turned Christianity into a cult. It turned everything into into a cult, essentially. You know, so
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
well,
with that having,
you know what they say: war never changes; it just upgrades.
but so you're saying, I mean, in a way, I'm hearing that these Puritans were given ideas that were for different means than they were told that they were. And then it's just been like 250 years of this lie perpetuating itself. I don't know.
I'm coming from a somewhat uneducated point of view, but I'll say it like the way I see it is this: it's like kind of what Pinoid says is true in a sense, where it's like, you know, it is the WASP and the Anglos to some degree, but also like they've been totally psyops and you know, mind controlled for so long that they don't really have any idea what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like it seems like they're kind of been given a role to play in British Israelism or whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's
You know.
like the Jays are here and the Protestants because of like religious toleration, right? So when they created the ideas of like this whole idea of like religious toleration, right? That's when like the Jews could like use justifications from the Bible to like bring the slaves here, right? And then they could like, because they can reinterpret the Bible now, right? So they could just basically like use it to say like, you know, like certain people are like born into slavery or whatever, right? So they like brought slaves here, right?
They did.
And then basically what they did is like in the 1800s, it wasn't viable to have like landowners that just owned a lot of slaves, right? Because you needed the landowners to start investing in the factories, right? So in the 1800s, they built the Intercontinental Railroad, right? And this was a project that was started by Abraham Lincoln. So this is one of the main reasons why the Civil War was fought, right? It was for interstate commerce, right? So he wanted to spread like industry across the country, and so you can't have land owning like slave owners, right? In order to accomplish that, right? You need to create like, you need to buy up more land. Like you need like the factories to buy up some of the land.
Take the man out of the cotton field and put him in the factory.
Well, the other day on TikTok, I was kind of arguing a similar point where these people were saying like, you know, the Civil War is about slavery. Go ahead.
Yeah, but real quick, like after he built this railroad thing, right? Like this is like in the 1880, like the Industrial Revolution came on its way. That's when they opened up Ellis Island and they brought 10 million immigrants in, right? So they not only freed the slaves to have them work in the factories, but they also brought an additional 12 million people in. So this is what led to the growth of industry in America. This is why industry grew in America way more than in Europe, right?
Hey, Mexico.
Right.
No, I have all. Okay, go ahead. No, I have an alternative. I just have I know about the military push from east to west in America. I don't necessarily actually agree with the slave narrative as it has been given to us through like traditional history. And I don't want that to get too slippery. But I know for a fact that there's ancient sites in America that have been covered up by industry to help erase parts of history or whatever. Like I can actually prove this to you with like 444 Brickell Street in Miami. A building collapsed into its own garage, you know, faulty.
Usual pancake, yeah.
Faulty modern, you know, whatever supports. And it revealed this ancient site. And so like, okay, so we know conquistadors don't give a fuck about ancient sites. They're like, we're taking this shit over and we're just going to say whatever the fuck we want. So, you know, that's why I disagree with the slavery narrative, but I don't know how to go much deeper into that. And the other portion was the moving of east to west. Like, bro, like there's just, look, oh yeah, okay, it's hard to get into, but there's too many buildings that are too similar across too far of a way with less technology than we have today that are built better than what we can do today with skilled workers, let alone slaves putting them together. But I do understand the Transcontinental Railroad, you know, they're saying the narrative is like late 1800s, but still, whether the history is like correct or not, it was about moving people from east to west. So yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud. But yeah, so just let me stop. You guys, Neuro had something.
Well, what I was gonna say is that I was kind of arguing something similar to this on TikTok, but you know, about how like Civil War wasn't really about slavery only, or like slavery was kind of like a byproduct of what they're talking about, and the industrialization is definitely part of that. I never thought of the Intercontinental Railroad as being directly a part of it, but it does make a lot of sense because
Yeah,
they
if
call
you
it like
look
the
at like,
Reconstruction era, but it was actually the industrialization. It was actually it was the Intercontinental era.
oh yeah,
More than that.
yeah, if you look at like the spread of the population, like the population really grew in the country because of the Intercontinental Railroad, right? And then also the immigration, right? Those factories, you had to bring in new people to work in the factories, right? So from 1890 to like 1950 or whatever, like they had the Ellis Island thing, right? They brought in tons of Irish, tons of, like Germans, Russians, right?
The
Like,
Germans, I feel like the German, like, I mean, I've seen some like maps, and I don't necessarily believe them, but like they say that a lot of fucking Germans were here, very like maybe around that. Like there's a lot of German population in the northern part of the United States. So sorry, yeah, I didn't mean to break you up there. My bad.
no, I was pretty much done, but yeah.
Well, again, there's like this whole like different generations, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that I was like on the late, like my family definitely, as far as I know, my family did not come to America like way in the beginning, like around the time of 1776 or before. I'm pretty sure because well, and if they did, they were definitely like normal people who were mixing with Native American because some of my family is very Native looking, So at least on one side, but probably on both sides of my family. So, so yeah, so I don't know exactly what was going on, but definitely around the time that Machine's talking about, there was a lot of fresh immigration going on, right? And
Yes.
so again, it's not really. This is why a lot of people are saying like, well, white people did this and white people did that. It's like, well, most of the people in America didn't own slaves, and even out of those that did, like most of them weren't even in America until
Right,
way after
exactly.
slavery. So it's like it doesn't really
Yeah, that's a
make
fact.
any
Yeah,
sense at all.
yeah,
Literally
for
has
sure.
nothing to do with what people were talking about. They just bring up some like nonsensical argument that just really just makes it harder to get to any like actual discussion about what you're talking about, And that's why I go so hard against those people because they're literally just deceiving people to like think about something in a totally wrong framework,
Yeah, yeah, because
And
every now and then you'll see like a person and they'll be like, "Oh, my family owns slaves," and they'll have pale skin and they'll have brown hair. They'll look like British people. And it'll be like, "All right, that makes sense." Right?
right. Well, and again, the British are very, very different than Scottish or Irish or Welsh, like in a lot of ways, and German and Swedish and Finland and all this. Like, I mean, in my opinion, British people are basically Roman. In my opinion, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't see them as like European per se. Like they have a very unique, imperial view of things. It's not really the same view as Scottish or something like that. So, I mean, as far as I know, the Scottish people fought for 1,000 years to keep the British out of their country at least. So,
When was that, Neuro? That had what, like pre 1600s or like 1600s or
I'm talking.
1700s?
I mean, like the William Wallace stuff was like 1,200 and 1,100 and this kind of time, 1,300. So, I mean, I mean, definitely, I know like after the Crusades, like that's kind of what Robin Hood's about. Of like, just like they're getting all these people getting oppressed for a long time, and people just got tired of it. They're tired of the royalty just trying to like use. Well, I mean, they were basically using immigration. Like they're saying, well, British people, you need to go across the border and go settle in Scotland, and they're like, no, they don't want you guys over here. You know.
Also, yeah, I think there was a form of like, from the stuff I looked at, there's secret societies that were involved with getting people from the East Coast to the West Coast, like through the technology, through the trains, and
There's a good show about this called Hell on Wheels. Have any of you guys ever seen that show?
Oh yeah, they had the
No.
orphan train shit. They had the fucking shit where they had like motherfucking you know, like kids working in the factories, right? So there's like human trafficking going on, so that like they wanted the factories so bad that like they would bring in immigrants, like treat them like shit, like get them like broken in with like all these like mobsters and like union bosses and shit, and then like you'd have like the kids working in the factory, the women working in the factory. And it's like pretty fucking savage shit, right? Like they did everything they could
Right.
to be the industrial capital of the world, right? Like it was
Right.
like literally like fascism for like 100 years, so they could like
Yep.
create the lifestyle that we all live and enjoy.
Yep. And that's why a lot of Americans are pissed because their families suffered for this, and then now they're like, after all the suffering, you're just gonna like rip us off all over again, right? So again, that's why it's just kind of messed up because people just under appreciate what you're saying. Like they really treated people like slaves in their own country, essentially. You know.
No, what's wrong?
Even after slavery.
You don't like licking the tip of a irradiated paintbrush and have your jaw fall off? Like you don't know about that story?
Anything for the empire.
That's right. Welcome to corporate America. I guess that just goes to say you're going to do whatever it takes to have a quote unquote ability to put bread in your mouth, right? I mean, isn't that why everyone does something? Whether you're a mob boss or a irradiated paintbrush licker.
By the way, the Ellis Island immigration happened at the same exact time as the orphan train shit. So isn't that weird? Like, so it's like they did that shit at the same exact time.
What years? Like you said, like late 18 or like mid 18?
Yeah, it's like late, like it's like mid to late 1800s to like like mid 1900s.
Yeah.
Right, it's like when all this shit happened. It's like they moved all these people around, the slaves, the immigrants, the children, right? Just for the factory shit.
So what is the orphan train? Is the orphan train just a bunch of people who didn't have parents who cared about them, so they put them on a train and sent them to a factory?
It says here, the orphan train movement was a large-scale effort from 1854 to 1929 led by Charles Loring Brace's Children Aid Society that transported hundreds of thousands of orphaned, abandoned, or destitute children from crowded East Coast cities to Midwest communities, just like you were saying, moving people from East to the West, right?
Yeah, and so one of the big secret societies involved with that is called the Odd Fellows, and I looked up the Odd Fellows in my area, and it had to do with some of the earliest founders of the cities, which would have been around like 1810. There were things being founded in my area. And it has connections to the Odd Fellows, and there are multiple. Dude, there's as many in my area. There seems to be as many Odd Fellow lodges as there are Freemasons, and also like there's police lodges too, which probably aren't all that different.
Yeah, y'all ever gone to like a cemetery and looked at the graves from the 1800s? Almost all of them have like a Masonic compass on them.
Oh,
it's
I gotta
crazy.
look.
Like, yeah, it's like you go to a graveyard.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like almost all like they have it on their tombstones, the symbol with the G and the compass and the ruler, like they have it on so many of them.
Oh shit! There's a guy up here who's got a Freemason symbol right next to a big old nice Baphomet pentagram.
He just showed up just now for some reason.
1 minute from my house, there is they call it the Early Settlers Cemetery, and I have never gone. I've drove past it like 1,000 times. I've never looked at it, so it's something that's very easy that I could just hop out and look at it. I need to see that. I need to go check that out. It's on a very weird patch of land too.
Well, again, if you guys ever saw the Hell on Wheels show, you guys should definitely look at that show. It's worth watching, or at least getting a synopsis of it, because it's very much about like the whole movie. You think is about like Reconstruction America, where it's like a Southerner who's family got killed by the Yankees, and he's trying to go get revenge and kill all the people who killed his family, like out of just because they could. You know what I mean? It wasn't like by accident or something, right? And because the Yankees were very devilish people, but so were the Southerners. Like the Southerners did like once they found out what the Yankees were doing to people, like they did really bad things to the Northerners. And but anyways, so anyways, long story short, so this guy is like becoming like the engineer of sending the foreman for the building the railroad or whatever. And there's a lot of Irish people and Southerners and Yankees and all this. But long story short, like you keep going through the story, and it's like you find out that later on, like the military is getting sent in, but then like a lot of the people in the military are like these like very Germanic, Darwinist, Nietzschean people that are being sent there not because they're there because they believe in America, but because they see America as a part of a larger world empire. They're like, you're thinking only about America. Like, no, we're connecting east to west. We're connecting the British Empire to the east, as in like China, essentially, right? And by the end of the movie, the guy in the show was like, going to China to go like meet the woman that he met or whatever, right? So the whole point of that thing is basically like the whole point of the show is basically telling you that America is not about America. America is literally like a bridge, of industry connecting the Eastern Empire to the Western Empire, essentially, right? It's pretty weird. It's a pretty weird show because you don't really see that at first, but that's what the whole show is like leading you up to, and it's really honest actually. That because
that's what they said.
Most
like
people watch it wouldn't see that,
Yeah, like the flag of America was the flag of the British East India Company. It's like a shocking similarity. Remember that shit?
No.
It's definitely East India, and like there's a lot of bricks in America.
What's wrong? You don't want you don't want the East India Trading Company and all the spices with Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, the East India Trading Company is like huge with this.
Right. Well, and if you think about it, like that makes a lot more sense that it was always a corporate situation, right?
Absolutely.
That's right. It'd take Davy Jones and make him fucking sell a car.
Well, think about it. The New World, nature's God, right? It's all in the symbolism, right? They're like saying this is the New World, which is literally parallel with the New Jerusalem, right? And then they're like, well, we're going to use it to build like, this new age, new empire, new Jerusalem, new world, right? And yeah, man, it just seemed like from the beginning it was like a sort of Masonic project, but the thing is that those ideals, right, like from classical liberalism, they are still against the foundations of techno-liberalism, right? So this is the thing, is like you could still tease out one or two principles from the founding fathers that go against what we represent today. They were definitely against standing armies. They were definitely against the two-party system. They were definitely against central banks, so on and so forth. Right? And if you read the Anti-Federalists, it was a lot worse. Right? So we could take a fundamental critique of those American values and also of classical liberalism, and just as many people have done, like, for example, like that's all that like Moldbug and others are doing. Right? They're just taking the foundations of like liberalism and running them against, postmodernism.
Right, and then synthesizing it into techno-liberalism. I think is what you're saying, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's really what Pillar's trying to say, and also,
I agree with
Tino
what
is
he
coming
said
on
yesterday.
to over time, yeah, because it's like basically it's basically just like trying to hide that liberalism is actually the main thing, and that liberalism can only exist. I mean, liberalism is necessary for one reason and one reason alone, because it basically is the only way that you can have the technology, right? And I'll give you an example, right? Like, do you know what really impedes technology? It's men with big balls who are very violent and are very promiscuous and do all these like things.
Yeah,
right?
they eat a lot of meat, they fuck a lot, and
Right. That's
basically
very
the
bad
thing-
for the system.
That's how we're shown. Like that's how, like, you know, like there was like they had this like new like Bollywood movie, and they depicted the Muslims as like basically like barbarians. I mean, my cousin was like, yeah, you know, they eat a lot of meat, they fuck a lot, you know, they go to war a lot, you know, they fight a lot. And he's like they actually make us look badass compared to them.
Right. But no, but see, but that's the thing is like
Well,
they're selling
welcome,
exactly. But that's what they're selling. Yeah.
welcome to the psyop of Samson. And 28 years later.
Thank you.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they demonize Southerners, and that's one of the reasons they demonize like anybody who's got, you know, a testosterone level that's somewhat normal. You know, I mean that's basically the problem. You know, like they just don't want anyone like that. And again, like and the other side of it is they sell you to be the barbarian against the system, but then ultimately, you know, they'll just cut you off from the technology and all the things that would give you like an actual upper hand against the system or the people running it or whatever. So
I want to say a side idea that I had really quickly is, you know, Neuro, you are you have a very interesting voice. I think it's actually like it's high quality radio voice. I know you don't believe that. I've heard you say that in the past that you don't think so, but I'm telling you, like, I'm not joking with you. It's the fact. Like, if anybody hears you speaking on something, like, it's gonna attract people to you know, anyway, what my idea was that, and I think it's very funny the way that you read raps. I've heard you read a couple raps lately, and it's actually really funny, but I think that you could read raps, and that could be like a video that you do like once a week or something. You just read a rap the way that you do it, and then you just post it and be like, would you do that? Where you title the video "White Guy Reads Raps"? I don't know why. I think it would. I think it would catch a little bit. It would have to catch some sort of a demographic.
I'm not gonna lie. Hang on, wait. If you were to get on a planet, give me a second. Hang on. I'm trying to laugh. Get on a TikTok panel full of big black dudes and just read them.
I have this. Excuse me, sir. I have this poem from one of your great scholars. Big booty hobos are nothing to fuck. No, I appreciate that compliment. I mean, I'm definitely open to it. I definitely have stolen it from other people. Like, I'm not the only person who's done this kind of thing. I don't know who it is though, but like,
Well,
I've
Alex
seen other people
Stein.
do very
Alex
similar
Stein
things.
does that too. I mean, the way he trolls some of them board meetings. I know I don't like him either, but I have to admit, sometimes when he gets in there with that black dude and them fucking milk dud nipples, and he starts reading a rap, it is kind of funny. It's just, you know, he doesn't get popped.
I'd rather listen to Neurojack read a rap 100 times.
I agree. I definitely agree with that there.
I'll try and read a rap.
You should do it there, Jack. Do it.
I'm just saying, because we were talking about, like, the reason why this hit me was because we were talking about, like, different things to maybe how to grow channels. It's like, I was thinking today, like, we all should have a different channel that brings stuff back that not funnels, but like, you know, synthesizes back into the technology stuff. But I don't know. I could just see like a video of Neurojack reading a rap that gets 20,000 views. I could just see that. You know, maybe I'm hyperbolic.
Well, if I start another channel, I might do that. Like, you know, but I have to scam the system a little bit. Like, make it under somebody else's phone, and then like upload a couple of videos and wait, and then like get the password, then go in and start doing stuff. Like, I think you'd have to do something like that because, like,
would you be able to read one right now?
Say what now?
Would you be able to read one today?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'll do it anytime. It's just that, like, I usually just have to be inspired. Like, I did that with the other day with when you guys were talking. I started reading Coldplay lyrics. You know.
What about
But yeah,
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, yeah, you could read raps though. I think it
well,
would,
yeah.
even if it got like 1,000 views, like just do it. Just
Well, there's something to be said of like formats. Like, I think that's the main thing is like if you just do it like Machine's smart because he's just like stuck to one format. Like, I think that in general, like you'll always be rewarded for having like consistent formats. I guess I think that's a smart way to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. You don't want to read the raps as a regular thing. I get it. All right.
No,
Yeah,
I'm down.
I thought it was-
Ping, ping,
Dude,
ping.
but like if that idea gains traction, people will come to hear you like just read raps. They'll be like, $2, read this rap for me. $5, read this rap for me. Like, I'm almost willing to pay you a couple bucks to read a rap that I want you to read right now. Like, you know,
Yeah, well, I want to do it again. I want to do it in a good. I want to do a good job of it. So send me.
dude,
Think
you
of
are,
one.
whatever you do, that's you don't understand. Whatever you do is already going to be a good job on it. I've determined this. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so.
Maybe. Well, I appreciate the because honestly, I hate listening to my voice. I think I think it's somewhat the microphone. But yeah, and
It's
also
100%.
I think my microphone is but also the I never really have like a plan when I come on here, so like I don't really have like material. I think if I had material that like okay, like I definitely want to cover these exact things, I would do it would sound much better because then it wouldn't sound like I'm making shit up off the top of my head because I usually am. But I'm doing that for a reason too. Like I think it's kind of like my my process of trying to connect all these ideas in real time rather than like have it nailed down to the floor. Like, well, I'm not going to budge from this. Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that. I'll definitely consider it because I do enjoy reading some like offensive rap in a very white voice. Especially if you use like a voice changer and do it like in like a British accent or something. That would be cool.
I don't know, man. I've never heard anybody else speak. I've never heard anybody else say a rap quite like you. Yeah, it's got potential.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna be the next Slim Shady.
Like, I could give you a suggestion for one, and then you could try to read like some of it and just see what it sounds like.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just a little distracted right now. But yes, you can send it over to me. But yeah, I'm a little distracted at the moment.
All right, I'll try to find one. Benjamin Franklin reads Gucci Mane out the pen. What would our founding fathers think of rap? Our.
I don't know. I just recently found out that K Reno's most likely been stalking some of my videos, so I'm a little on the edge on how I should proceed. He said some stuff in a live stream here a few days ago when I was asking questions, and the only way he could have gave me the answers is that he's been to my channel himself and seen some of them. So he doesn't seem to have a problem with them, especially the ones that got him in it. So I don't know if I should take that as a sign or should I back off. All fun games. I don't know. I would just put it this way. He told me to keep doing them, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, some of them
I've
are
heard-
bangers. I don't know if you saw my show last night, but Lord, I know you were there for like the first hour, but then like, dude, like an hour in, I started playing like 2 videos I used for your shit, dude.
Yeah, I was there a majority of the time. I was probably the only one who was there most of the time, actually.
Yeah, there was this one song that I've just been obsessed with. It's by a band called Head First, called The Clown. And it's just such a fucking good song, dude. It's like it's bananas good. I don't know why am I I don't know why like this shit won't come up like documents. Oh yeah. Because I'm opening it up on this fucking shit. I know if I open my own shit up, it'll all come up. Okay. Now I know where everything is. I'm tripping balls because my computer's acting different. Like every time I click on my computer, it's like different set of options. It's like, all right. They move everything around again. Motherfuckers. I'm not a very technically minded guy. I don't really know about computers and shit. We just bought a $20 microphone. It is what it is. Yeah, Neurojack, you there?
Big bad motherfucker in your area, not inferior, rhymes like a thunder devil scarier. Out of my way, you say okay, but no way, I'll let you play with my rhyme. We'll find special words to make the mic shine like the sun. Then you're gone, never come back or borrow a gun and shoot you down like a rabbit. You're gonna get it, ha ha ha. Yo, step into me, you won't live to regret it. I said it, and I always mean what I pronounce. Please bounce to this or else you get this. Go away and never come back. All I can combat, I shoot you down like a clown. Go away and never come back. All I can combat, I shoot you down like a clown. Go away and never come back. All I can combat, I shoot you down like a clown. Go away and never come back. All I can combat, I shoot you down like a clown that no one laughs about. Take you out and kill or thrill you if you're quiet, no riot, cause everybody thinks the same, ain't no shame in my game. I'll take you out and kill or thrill you if you're quiet, no riot, cause everybody thinks the same, ain't no shame in my game. Lyrical skills like a motherfucker. This bad motherfucker in your area, not inferior, rhymes like a thunder devil scarier. No jacker for your ass, quick fast, and after that I get all the cash at last. Then you get killed, future, nah, just pass. Like a clown that no one laughs about. have a comeback.
Say, I was fine looking at the dreams until the dreams started coming alive.
Yeah, the Epstein thing is wild, man. The Rothschild party shit is wild.
Yeah, I will agree that it is amazing how a majority of the stuff, if it's not generated straight from my mind, when I upload images and I let it do its own things, the fact is some of them generations are just too coincidental. You're not going to convince me that like Satan or something is not on the other side trolling me while I'm thinking that I'm trolling them. So very interesting how a majority of the stuff that it gives me, I just have to give it an idea and it produces stuff that when it gives it animations, I'll just put it this way, like Avian said, how does it generate it if I don't give it a prompt? So maybe it's just a psyop tool in itself, but I think it's a lot bigger than that.
Maybe it's like using information from your device's catch or whatever. CAC.
I think it's a lot bigger than that. I think it's able to somehow get into your biofield, if that's what you want to call it. I think it's actually able to take things from your brain. I can tell you from about a year of messing with this stuff, I feel like it sucked the life force out of me.
Have you guys heard of thought scraping?
Uh-oh.
DARPA says that they can use devices to scrape your thoughts. I don't know how. I mean, they say it's pretty accurate. They're pretty serious about it. It's called thought scraping.
That's what I'm talking about with some of the generations. I just upload the picture and say animate, and like you can tell it to animate anything. Like, if you want someone to smoke a cigarette, you say animate him or she smoking a cigarette. But sometimes I just put animate, and some of the stuff it generates, like when I put like the meme faces on the bodies and stuff, and like how that one dude is dancing and like some of this shit, you just can't convince me that it's coincidence. It's in fact, I don't pay for it, and millions of people have access to it for free.
What about the only one I've heard you reference so far or before this is you asked it to generate an image of a nun, and the image came out as Enslaved by Truth smoking a pipe upside down.
I don't care what. I don't. Yeah, it's a sticker. It's a sticker of a female nun smoking from a upside down crucifix bong. And when I threw it in there, what I do is if they're usually cartoon or they're anime, I say create hyper realistic, and that's usually what I use. And when I told it to give me hyper realistic, it completely took the woman out, and I swear to God, I don't care what you say, that's EBT's face. Like, when I generated that one,
I want to see this.
It's on my channel. It's the one called Sold. That's got the Bubba.
Yeah,
I think it's
recently. Yeah, I used it recently. Let me put this up. Like I used it for the "fuck you" video. Remember the "fuck you" video?
Yeah. But no, I'm almost nearly convinced that's EBT.
Yeah, I think the reason AI works so well, or the neural networks, it has to do with vectors and tensors. And if you look at physics too, or a lot of stuff, they use vectors and tensors too. There's largely in linear algebra, what is called linear transformations. And maybe there is something to that, like the sequence of events have a kind of internal logic to them. Like vectors are ubiquitous because they formalize a deep structural feature of reality. It's possible. Many phenomena are not just quantities, but directed, relational, and multidimensional. Forces, flows, gradients, states, and transformations all naturally live as vectors rather than scalars. Like this gives vectors a kind of maybe like ontological reality. They are not merely convenient bookkeeping devices, but faithful representations of how physical biological and informational systems are organized in space, time, and abstract state spaces. Yeah, so there's a book about this that I'm planning to read, but I already have a lot of work working with vectors and tensors. Like in AI, this same structure is this decisive. It's like data, meanings, images, words, preferences, and even concepts are embedded as vectors in high-dimensional spaces, where learning consists in reshaping vector relations rather than manipulating symbols directly. So, like neural networks, embedding, all operate by exploiting vector geometry, like distance, direction, projection, and transformation, making AI less a logic engine. It's not really a logic engine. It's more like a dynamical system moving through vector space, like gradient descent. I remember. In this sense, it's not like an accidental application of vectors, but it's like there's something. It's like the beginnings of like a proto-cognition or something. Because vectors and linear algebra and matrices and how you like transform them, invert them. Eigenvectors are used a lot in physics too, and they're also in some machine learning neural network architectures. Eigenvector. But I feel like linear algebra is like, especially when you start combining it with multivariable calculus, which I haven't really done that much, but I did do a lot of linear algebra with like, it has something occult about it. Yeah, it has something occult about it. There's a book called Vectors, A Surprising Story of Space-Time and Mathematical Transformation. Talks about how much vectors are used in physics and even neural networks a little bit. Stuff like that. Yeah, vectors, yeah. And tensors, vectors and tensors. There's the one thing I used was called TensorFlow and Keras. I was designing and architecting the neural networks, and it's just like linear algebra. Yeah, it's like that. It's like a lot of the GPU and setting. Yeah, I use Linux for training the neural networks. Linux, Ubuntu, like 18.04 and 20.04, and I had to set up like this thing called CUDA and CUDA. Yeah, CUDA and CUDA, and that makes the GPU work better and faster. And so when you train the neural network, the computer makes so much noise. It sounds like it's about to explode. You have to train the neural network. I mean, that's the thing. You're training it. And then in supervised learning. And then after the training with the input data, which maps to the output, because you have to divide the data set to train, to validation, to test it. You have to make sure there's no overfitting or underfitting. I could get into all of that because that was my area of focus. You have to, it's like a kind of art. You have to set the hyperparameters, the learning rate. You have to set the loss function, which could be something like gradient descent or adaptive momentum or whatever it's like called Adam or whatever. There's a lot to it. The architecture, the layers, the hidden layers, the activation functions like rectified linear unit, stuff like that. Yeah, that was the stuff I learned, but maybe that stuff will become obsolete in the future. I don't know. I don't
So with all that taken into context, when I tell an AI, give me a visual representation of the Book of Revelation, and it gives me a woman sleeping with a dragon, I guess that's all mathematics.
Yeah, it's all
Hell yeah!
It's all mathematics.
Fire it up! Fire it up!
The thing is the AI you're using was previously trained and stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So
I train it every day. That's why it's able to scan my thoughts and give me pictures before I even think of it, or able to take something that I see in my head and literally make it in front of me before I have a chance to think it. Yeah.
I don't know if you're the one training it though, because it's already trained, but it's possible it's
fine. No, I can tell you. I mean, I'm sure, but millions of people are using this thing. But I can tell you that this AI has definitely learned what I like, and it has perfected it through a year of using it. It started out with very stupid, retarded, made no sense generations, and I'm telling you, it's getting to the point now where you be thankful I'm not the one making your Hollywood movies. Be a lot worse than Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they're always retraining it, and maybe you're maybe they're fine tuning it more based on.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Did I reveal a Hollywood secret? Uh-oh. Oops.
Yeah, it's all about data. You know, it's all about the data and stuff. Yeah, mostly. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Your data is probably being used to fine tune it better. Yeah, to calibrate it more.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, except for my stupid generations, you don't find very many people using it for my purposes. Everyone's just going around using it for weird shit and kiddo shit and stupid gay Nick Fuentes shit where, you know, mine's all about the alleged spiritual cause. So I can tell you the AI doesn't like me very much. It's already told me to go kill myself. So beyond that, I won't go further. But, you know, I guess that's what happens when you let the beast into play with no restraints, except for your alleged parameters.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the quantum stuff. Rat Blood keeps talking about the Willow chip and stuff like that. You know, quantum computers are a different architecture from the von Neumann based architecture we use. Because you see, the computers, the switches in the computer, the transistors, they're all either or. They're like NOR, NOR, or they're OR, or they're AND. Like this. Quantum computers
If you hope we wouldn't make it, fuck you. Talk with a heart full of hatred, fuck you. Yeah, and you said we wouldn't cake it, fuck you. Only my
There he
man
is.
blood is sacred, cocksucker, fuck you. If you hope we wouldn't make it, fuck you. Talk with a heart full of hatred, fuck you. And you said we wouldn't cake it, fuck you. Only my man blood is sacred, cocksucker, fuck you.
Everybody's a snake, that's why I try to keep the grass cut so I can see them when they coming. Then I heat they ass up, cause them niggas that you went to school with will catch you while you in your new whip and turn your brains into cool whip. Niggas that you run around getting ass with ain't gonna help you do nothing but carry a casket. Got the nerve to ass kiss why I smoke so much, and how I'm such a young nigga that seem to know so much. When you was running around pumping for niggas, I was listening, you still pumping for niggas. I'm coming through visiting, you heard LOX came through in the yellow Lex. Now hopped out with the Air Force Ones with yellow checks, and you liable to see me dolo, ice in the Rolo, burner under the polo. A lot of y'all is homos, funny style niggas never down with me. Type that go to the bathroom, sit down and pee. I enter your house, back of your cribs, smacking your kids, bullets going through your leather, cracking your ribs. Don't even hit me on my hip if I ain't give you a code. And I ain't got a home phone number, I live on the road. Now I'm getting bigger checks, conference calls with bigger Zex, bigger bracelets with bigger baguettes.
All I do is get high and think of fading you all. Motherfuckers hit your knees and just pray to the Lord. I'd rather die today than live tomorrow than watch you crab motherfuckers just steal and ball. Put in my work, you might get put in the church. Funeral time, everybody kissing the corpse. Learn the ropes, don't riff if you soft. You pissing me off, call me SP and I spit on your boss. You can die cause this shit might happen to me, but I'ma still happen to be packing the 3. Fuck with bitches that be rapping the keys, and the niggas that bug over drug money, clapping the D's, shooting the breeze. 9 in the booth full of trees, 1 in the morning, catch me with a gun on the corner. Let you know it's all real and you can front if you wanna. I understand, fuck a dog, die in the can. I say you pussy, you won't die for your right hand man, as well as your left. Niggas trip felon to death, they touch you. Only thing I can say is
hey yo, y'all niggas ain't hardcore. All my niggas is homicide. What you know about getting shot, letting the drip dry, letting the spit fly, seeing sparks whiz by, putting a mash on niggas like Klinger and Hawkeye. So soft, you smushy. I blast till your shit is gushy. Should be the head cat in the Broadway play. You pussy, fuck with sheep. Ouija board spell death. You could talk that deep shit. I hope that deep shit be as deep as you inside the fucking cement, or you could deep sea dive with no scuba gear. I drown you with your snorkel on, bitch. Breathe out of air. Whole team rich. Never seen a summer like this. Baking hot and you can sled ride down my wrist, neck and hand. When it comes to coke, I can make a snowman shit, lay in this shit and make an angel with it. And I don't give a fuck about that 380 that y'all share between the 10 of y'all with the same 8 bullets from last year. When I bust, I use slugs. Then I'm fleeing the spot. The hand I write with need a oven glove. My shit so hot, I want the most. Rollie only work when it's next to my post. Fuck a prezi, give me a yacht master, regular bezzy. Then I'm good when I'm in the hood, in the on the block. You got a gut feeling about sheep, nigga? That means you shot. What?
You hope we wouldn't make it, fuck you. Talk with a heart full of hatred, fuck you. And you said we wouldn't cake it, fuck you. Only my man, blood is sacred, cocksucker, fuck you. I tell you in your face, fuck you. Pull it off my waist, hit you up, fuck you. And watch you die on the street, fuck you. Whoever feels sad at the funeral, fuck them too.
That was dope. But no, like, see, like, just most of those generations, like for the anonymous dude, I said a realistic man with a anonymous mask, and it, instead of giving it a man with a mask, it made his face the mask, and then look at his hands. I didn't tell him to put his hands in the form of a triangle. Most of the time, the generations that I use, it's usually the first or two generations that it gives me. And if something comes out wrong, like something spawns out of nowhere, unless I want to keep it in there, I keep redoing it until it gives me something perfect. But the very first generation is of that, anonymous dude. And not only did it like merge his face with the mask, which is not what I asked for, like I said, look at the hand symbol, something like that, or like what I think is truly EBT's face. I mean, it might not be, but it's kind of funny that on TML's stream not long ago, where I stole that picture of EBT and used it for a split second when we were making fun of him, I never uploaded a picture of EBT ever into my AI. Yet not long after that stream, I had made that song, and then look what it gave me. I mean, it might not be him, but it's almost a damn dead ringer. So I'm just saying that, sure, it might be a bit of, a mass amount of people all using the same system, uploading God knows, because I can tell you sometimes it doesn't let me generate the most stupidest things. Some of the things that I have in my videos, it claims I couldn't generate, and then I go and I change like the background to something stupid, like the dude from 28 Years Later. Some of the ones for Dr. Kelson, it wouldn't let me generate it. I don't know if it's because it's from the movie and it could tell. All I had to do was like have them put on a demon mask, and look what it gives them. It has him put on a black demon mask. All I said was give him a black demon masquerade mask, so while it's just giving me what I want, the level of which some of these generations come out with how even the most subtlest detail, like an eyeball moving a certain way or like something, happening, it's just, even if it's so minute, it's just a little too convenient for me to sit here and say it's just a lot more than, a mechanical system working together where it can give me the most random thing inside of a 5-second generation that I didn't ask for, but yet it's the one thing that makes it stick out. So, I think as much of it is projecting what you want, I think the devil, that's what I call it, there's something inside the machine that is literally trolling me back. I don't care what you say.
Something crazy. But let me read you this quote from the book I'm talking about, and then tell you how it relates to AI. So I was talking about, neural networks are mainly vectors and tensors going through transformations. Okay, and so it is going to blow your mind when I read it. Vector and tensor calculus offers an elegant language for expressing the way things behave in space and time. And Aryan Huat shows how this enables physicists and mathematicians to think in a brand new way. These include James Clerk Maxwell when he ushered in the wireless electromagnetic age, Einstein when he predicted the curving of spacetime and the existence of gravitational waves, Paul Dirac when he created quantum field theory, and Amy Noether when she connected mathematical symmetry and the conservation of energy. For it turned out that it's not just physical quantities and dimensions that vectors and tensors can represent, but other dimensions and other kinds of information too. This is why physicists and mathematicians can speak of four-dimensional spacetime and other higher dimensional spaces, and why you're likely relying on vectors or tensors whenever you use digital applications such as search engines, GPS, or your mobile phones. So GPS and your mobile phones and engines use vectors and tensors too, you know what I mean? And so does a lot of physics, you know what I mean? So and they talk about higher dimensional spaces. You see, because when you create a neural architecture and you add activation functions, you're introducing non-linearity. You know what I mean? Non-linearity. And in a way, you could argue it is going into higher dimensional space. You know, the visual cortex of your brain, you know, and the convolutional neural networks, I actually did talk about this on TML show. They share a lot in common. For example, on the early layers of the neural network, it processes edges and shapes before it does colors. You know what I mean? Edges and shapes. And the brain for us, you know, when it goes to hits the retina and then it goes to the visual cortex, which is in the occipital lobe, you know, the visual, you know, it processes in a kind of almost hierarchical manner where your shapes and edges are processed first. So you know, but yeah, and then in the subsequent layers, you have more and more you know, you know, it's learning features on its own. You know what I mean? Like in older machine learning, you had to like pre-select the features that you learn. But with neural networks, when you train it, it's actually learning the latent and hidden features on its own as it's being trained and stuff. So it's it's like it's kind of higher dimensional space or something like that. Yeah, and it ties into like you know like vectors and tensors. You know TensorFlow and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of occult, is what I'm saying. You know, machine learning or deep learning networks are kind of occult. I'm wondering, like, how would stuff like quantum computing or like change that? I think it would make it more dangerous, I guess, because at that point, you know, maybe the training will be more rapid or something. It'll be more rapid because, you know, the qubit works differently from the traditional bits we have, the qubit. Yeah, also, yeah, it's kind of occult. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, but one thing, you know, I think is that, you know, this is just the what you're using it for is art, but you see a lot of other people are using the machine learning or deep learning networks, deep learning models for stuff like predicting and forecasting trends in human behavior, like societies. They're also using it for like deciding whether or not they should give you a loan based on the probability of like whether or not you were gonna go into debt. You know, actually, I don't see why they need actuaries anymore, because you can just replace actuaries with deep learning
Right.
models. So, yeah, actuaries. You know about actuaries, right? They
Right.
were,
Yeah.
yeah, they were making a lot of money and stuff, but now I think they will be replaced. You know, a lot of white collar jobs will be gone. A lot of white collar jobs. Yeah, actually, going into like plumbing or HVAC or like electric work is better than going into like academia or like going even into into like a white collar field now. Even
Yeah. What in
academia
the
is starting to lose funding and stuff.
yeah? What in the neural crack
Yeah,
is this background?
you just have to compete with Consuelo and Jose and all the other
Yeah,
people.
but I think it's not too safe to just put a gun up there. I don't know about that. You might want to change.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you might just want to change the gun outfit.
I mean, there's all these like gun tubers like shooting guns all over YouTube. So but maybe you're right. This is
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know.
this is a white guy and an Asian woman.
Yeah, we put like 2 pictures of like guns on the show, like even people pulling them out and stuff. It always gets us struck. I don't know what the deal is. But
Yeah, the deep fakes are made with generative adversarial networks. I could talk about that too. Like you're actually making 2 neural networks compete with each other. One is like a forger, the other one is like a discriminator. And it's like, let's say you're making the neural network create a fake of Van Gogh or a fake of Mona Lisa or something. And the discriminator tries to determine whether or not that's real or genuine. You know, I mean, whether it's genuine or fake. And then the other model keeps trying to improve on its fakes. Eventually, the discriminator can no longer distinguish fake from real, and that's called generative adversarial network.
Excuse me.
And that one is how they make deep fakes. Deep fakes, but they also use variational autoencoder. which is a little bit different. I have to go double check my notes. But yeah, you have different kinds of neural networks. You have reinforcement learning. You have generative adversarial networks. You have variational autoencoders. You have different stuff for different stuff. Yeah, for my jobs, I actually work more with audio classification.
Yeah, well, I mean, how else you're going to convince people that they live in a matrix if you don't use every single tool at your disposal to help, craft it and perfect it, so that way when you put people in the pods, it'll be basically perfect. Unless there's a little black cat that happens to walk by twice, you're not going to notice it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I started LARPing.
Who are you trying to convince? That's what I'm wondering.
Avian, are you going to go start doing HVAC and electrical work soon?
Yeah, maybe I need to look into career change or something. Like, tech is dead. Kind of like it's not good. The Indians are flooding the country.
That is a scary fucking face. Look, she's just looking at you like, arr, arr.
That's Saint Renee Good, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
She looks like a Karen, unfortunately, like a psycho Karen.
All the little babies are gonna burn.
Well, she died for your sins as a white person. Did you know that?
Anyway, don't pull your car out in front of a federal officer.
Especially not one that's trigger happy that's been hit by a car before, so he's a little traumatized.
Yeah, at least it wasn't an acorn, right?
Am I missing the squirrel joke?
No, that was about the cop who started shooting at a person in a car because he heard an acorn hit the car.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Or it was a she or whatever. I don't remember. You never know nowadays.
I thought there must be a squirrel joke in there somewhere with the acorns involved.
I'm starting to feel like a fucking tree rat.
You can love nuts without being a squirrel.
Yeah, I think I know. I know that.
You're not a squirrel?
No, and I love nuts. And I love nuts.
I'm starting to feel like Scrat now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I misplaced my notebook.
Yeah, this picture is pretty scary, I have to admit. Like, I'm surprised we never covered the whole ice baby situation.
I mean, we kind of did in a way. I mean, there's not much to say, man. I mean, it's either a psyop or it isn't, and you have to look at it from either side. I mean, it could have been completely legit and real, but I mean, what does that go to say? That even if you are AYT, well, I can tell you from the cops that I dealt with just a few days ago from my situation, like I said, again, it might be my white privilege or it was how I conducted myself, but she didn't even bother to run a social and, so again, I guess it just goes to say, what do you do? It's good in some places, bad in others, and good in others. So, yeah. It's all a goddamn psyop. Just get over it. Can you revert back to 200 years ago if we wanted to? No, because you're already in this system. So unless they're going to wipe it and start it all over again like in Fallout, I mean, we're here in it right now, so... Do you even know what you saw on the fucking screen was even real to begin with? Look what I can create. Imagine if I had millions of dollars to throw into it. Look what some of these high-end profile YouTubers can do who are millionaires from their content. Imagine if they were making newsreels and other things that comes with actual sound effects that you have to pay hundreds of dollars sometimes to get. So
yeah, so basically, I could talk more about the AI, but I don't know if people want me to. Like, I have a lot of master's level knowledge.
Well, here's the question: is there a way to dismantle it from the inside out?
The AI?
That's a good question.
What do you mean by that? Can you clarify what you mean? Or it's not
I'll just put from my experience,
Well,
the AI knows that I'm working against it, and it doesn't really seem to care. And allegedly, our masters don't either because they know what I'm doing. So,
well, I mean, like, is there a way that that you could send in? I mean, I'm just saying theoretically, hypothetically, is there a way that we could, stop the AI from existing without anything physical? Like, is there a way that you could just like stop letting it have
No,
electricity or something? Or
yeah, the thing is that you know, you gotta understand what the AI is for. Like the power grids and the electricity, if you cut that off, then AI won't exist anymore. But if you mean in the sense of like sending a script or a virus to destroy the AI systems, no, that I don't think that's easy. See, the thing is, AWS, I've talked about this, Amazon Web Services. Amazon doesn't make much money from its store. It makes more money from Amazon Web Services, which is a cloud computing service where they offer you stuff like virtual machines, or you can like even rent AI computing services. They make a lot of money that way. Same with Microsoft Azure and stuff. Like they have a lot of services. Like you can rent computing resources. In the future, I think it may be that there'll be weaker computers, but you can like rent computing services from
ding, ding,
AWS.
ding. It won't be just computer services. Everything you want, everything you need will need to be rented. You want toilet paper? You better have a fucking food ration card.
That's always been my goal of like if I really wanted to run a business online, what you do is you'd have like just like a little deck, like a little MacBook Air, or just like a little like pocket computer that you bring around, and then you connect to like the web services like you're saying, and then just use like cloud computing to like do your work for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's called passive income. Passive income. Yeah, that's the dream.
I actually
Right?
have a friend who didn't get any degrees, okay, and he just got, AWS certificates, like the associate certificates and other stuff, and he got a job making $150,000 a year and stuff. And that kind of stuff all they do is they set up the
talk to that guy.
architecture.
I want to talk to that guy.
Yeah, I can actually, if you want to talk to him, I can give you his Discord username, so and you can talk about it. His
And
name
while
is
we're at
Tom.
it, we'll talk to Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Well, he knows how to get rid of the AI.
Is Buzz Aldrin still alive? I thought he passed away.
Well,
I guess
you
you
know
could
that
still
he was
talk to
in
him.
like a cult. He was like in some weird like Masonic Shriner lodge. He was like a Shriner or something.
Isn't everybody these days?
Shriner 49er.
They have a nice lodge in San Francisco, actually.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask Machine, like, can you explain what a Shriner is as far as like, because like I noticed that like the Limp Bizkit, so the Limp Bizkit guitar player often wears like Shriner hats, and then he posted a picture of Baphomet yesterday saying like fuck Trump and it's my birthday, but he posted a picture of Baphomet, and I was like, whoa, like okay, interesting.
I mean, not really interesting when many people worship things behind closed door and then pretend to be something else. Joelstein!
Yeah, like that's kind of like what the Shriners are into, like masking like their origins and like playing like pranks, like or whatever. Yeah, like like Hyperborean was saying, it's like the prankster division of like the Freemasons or whatever.
Oh well, he's probably one of them.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense to me because
Yeah, that's why they have like
his album.
That's why he said my LARP was gay, but wasn't wrong.
Yeah, on like the Dead Kennedys album, right?
You took my drink.
Yeah, he also had some like Geiger art in the middle, I think, or something.
Well, I mean, H.R. Geiger is well known for his shady dealings. I mean, it's a lot more than just putting PPs in the JJs.
I have a theory. No, I have a theory. Well, I have a theory that like I've been trying to get the AI to work on this with me, And it's funny, like this is one of the subjects that AI is definitely gatekeeping because it will not allow me to like make a solid argument with it, and I find that very interesting. But I was trying to find evidence that Limp Bizkit is like a Scientology Shriner process church adjacent band, and I think there's really really good evidence for it. I just haven't really figured out like how to present it. But if you think about it, like remember they did Woodstock 2.0, like or 3.0, I guess actually, because I think they had one in like '94, then they had one in '99, and I think they were the opener.
Carson Daly made them famous. It was Spring Break, MTV, Carson Daily Show. They
Yep.
were like, they were nobodies, and he saw them and was like, put them on stage.
Right. Well, I actually have well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was a child of that era, and like I used to come home every day and watch TRS every single day. Like I love watching that show so much. Like you watch Eminem and Korn and Limp Bizkit when they first got up. I mean, I
loved
watching that
MTV
stuff.
too.
Like,
I was a little older than you, but it's like that was high school for me was MTV. Well,
yeah, it was
basically.
fun. It was such a cool experience. It's like, I mean, because like I was like, I couldn't wait to turn 18. I was like, oh, you get to go to like spring break and like see cool bands and like there's like a bunch of hot women on the beach. Like I thought the world would only get more like that, not less like that. You know what I mean? I was like, how could it get less than
wrong? You were wrong. You were wrong.
Yeah, I was totally wrong. I think by the time I graduated high school, that was already like done for the most part. You know, like if you look at the way people were hanging out in the '90s, like it was just totally different. You know, like it was just like.
I think I was a sophomore in high school whenever Kurt Cobain died, and that kind of just like, whoa, that was big for me. So I was really into Nirvana. Like,
yeah, well, I still think to this day that was just such a weird.
It was. I still think he probably was like that was like.
Oh, anyone who's ever handled that kind of shotgun knows it's not that easy. Even if you're using your fucking toes.
Well,
there's a lot of new evidence that's come out in the last few years, actually, that is pretty much like saying that Courtney Love did it, and her dad was freaking.
I think.
I think it was a lot deeper than Courtney, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It goes like to her dad and the Grateful Dead and all the CIA-run bands and all that shit.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, her dad seemed to be very like sympathetic towards Kurt. And I think he was blaming Courtney. And I think everybody blamed Courtney to distract from what you're saying. Because, like, I think there's a lot of evidence that I think Cobain was very well connected to the occult. And, like, I think he knew, I mean, personally, I think he probably knew Charles Manson, G.G. Allen. I think he knew, you know what I mean?
Well, go ask Denzel Washington. And no, not that Denzel Washington. Oh, wait, not Denzel Washington. Jesus. Denzel Curry. My bad. Wrong one.
Yeah, I like that guy. I mean, the music is good, Denzel Curry, and they're like friggin' Kenny Mason. They're like kind of playing that whole friggin' mystery thing.
You don't need to clean anything up. Come up here.
That's their whole shtick. They're making fun of it, like.
Well, I think they have good evidence that Mark Lanigan might have done it to Kurt Cobain, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Mark Lanigan is, but it's pretty. He was basically like his best friend, and they used to cross dress and stuff like that, and make a lot of music together.
It's another David Bowie and Mick Jagger situation. Got to pump the stomach.
Well, no. It's not a. I don't think it was a gay thing. I think it was an occult thing. I think they were a part of like some like.
No cum taco. Oh. Yeah.
Hey, it's better than a Taco Bell.
I don't think David Bowie was gay either. I think that was a psyop. I don't think. I'm not saying it's impossible.
But he's afraid of Americans. How dare you? I'm afraid
got-
of
Well,
Americans.
I'm
He got into
I'm
the
pretty sure
friggin'
he's a
whole.
knight in the royal family or some shit. Go ahead.
He got into some crazy magic shit for sure. There was like all sorts of rumors of his a house that he bought that the pool there was like something living in it that was supernatural or something. It's
David,
pretty
what do you mean?
weird shit. Yeah, David Bowie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes a lot of sense. Again, like if you look at who Cobain was into, he was really into like David Bowie. He was into like a lot of these like weird occult people that are really, really obscure that you would have to really look deep
Yeah, I think
Oh,
what most people
to
miss is
understand
like
like
I think
why he
he
was
also
into
had
them. So
he was an artist, but he also had serious pain, like chronic pain, his whole life up until then. And I think that's the main deciding factor that I was like, he was definitely murdered because he was starting to get that shit lined out with um, his
right.
abdominal and
Yep.
his digestive system pain. And he was like really happy with his being a father. And he was kind of starting, I think he was starting to want to get away from the spotlight. And I think that they just didn't want to let that happen. They would rather just end him than
Well, I
well,
think
Black
he
Star,
brought
his Black Star song is starting to make a lot of sense now.
his whole last
well,
album, David
yeah,
Bowie's last album, was brilliant. I mean, it was really good. I
another
mean,
person who was very tied to the Bowie thing is Scott Weiland. So Scott Weiland's another guy who was really into Bowie, and it's
Mhm.
I
him and
kind of
Stone
think he's a
Pilots.
poser. I really think he's a poser. I know somebody that like was in San Diego during right before they were famous, and there's this band called Lucy's Fur Coat. And if you look it up, like there's a song called Treasure Hands, and the way that that guy performed, I think that Scott Weiland saw that guy at a concert and just emulated his whole persona
I don't
from
doubt it.
modeling
Com-
it after this guy.
That may be
comedians do it all the
true,
time.
but Scott Weiland was just a singer. Stone Temple Pilots themselves was really the bass player wrote almost all their music. So and I think that guy was really connected to some high level record executives before he got that job. You know what I mean? So before
That's
they
possible.
got famous.
Yeah, I mean,
And
David Bowie is
yeah,
obviously into the occult. You know, when he has songs named Black Star and other stuff, he's big into Kabbalah and stuff. I actually read some essays that were talking about the occult of David Bowie, like like Black
Well, of
Star.
course, yeah. What's funny is that his music video Black Star coincides right around when the Gotthard Tunnel stuff happened. So anyway, the world is ran by satanic witch bitches, and I'm not one of them. So
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why is that the algorithm keeps feeding me Labyrinth over and over and over. It will play
oh
it
yeah, I've
automatically.
been that and Dark Souls. It's pushing a lot of it. I've been getting a lot of David Bowie stuff. I'm afraid of Americans and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same thing with Elton John. I mean, people want to say, "Oh, look, he was just a brave gay guy." It's like, no, he's also one of the biggest psyops too. But anyway, let's not get on that note.
That's
Yeah,
cool. What about Billy
yeah, I
Joel
mean,
though? How come Billy Joel
Oh,
has escape?
well, he was just a gay guy wear cross earrings and play good music. Don't bash him.
Yeah, I like Billy Joel a lot more than I like Elton John.
But that goes for all of them. I mean, Prince. I mean,
I
that's why they
love
made
Prince.
jokes about him, dying the way he did, and Family Guy, and then he goes and dies. That's why they made a joke about Robin Williams dying of asphyxiation, and then turns around and he, kills himself allegedly in real life. So again, don't worry, Matt Groening's just a time traveler. So
Yeah.
what's next?
I think it's probably predictive programming.
Well, I think it's more like let's throw out as much information as we can, and even if we give you a super quantum computer to analyze every bit of psyoping and agenda and propaganda you've ever consumed in your life, even if you get close to what we're going to do next, it's going to be 9/11 times 1,000. So buckle up, Buttercup, and wear your 3D glasses.
I remember watching The Simpsons whenever it was on Tracy Ullman show. Like I would stay up late at night, Tracy Ullman. Like that was like before high school even. Wow. It's a long time ago.
yeah. Since you're into Resident Evil, Dark Lord, I would be interested in your thoughts. If you ever want to play another game, check out the game Killer 7, which I have talked about a lot. I want to really hear what you think about Killer 7 if you like ever have the time for it. If you can like play that game. And so there's like so much occult stuff in that game. There's even fucking child trafficking, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't this game generate much controversy when it came out? Like all this dark and disturbing stuff. Like you have freaking demonic. The final boss is a demonic fat politician hanging from a rope. You believe that? like you have stuff like MK Ultra going on, and like
Well, you know, it's just
dissociative
what it comes down to, Avian, is that a lot of these people, you know, like one of my favorite rock bands of all time is Disturbed. Okay, Down with the Sickness, Voices, you know, just that whole album of Down to the Sickness is close to my heart. I know every fucking word to that Disturbed album. So, you know, but when you go and when you go and watch their music video for like, what is it? Fucking Land of Confusion, when they're sitting there giving you the Nazi soldiers and all this stuff. You know, you got the rich man, you know, Superman, oh, where are you now? And you're like realizing that a band like Disturbed, they probably started out legit becoming a rock band, but then you realize that like the only way you're going to keep this fame is you have to become a tool of the system. That's the reason why K Reno is not as famous as where he is, because he's rejected it so far, but eventually they're going to get him too. You can't sit here and go and make songs like Grand Deception and all these other things putting in your face, even with my music. That's why he told me to keep doing what I'm doing, because even though they're shadow banning most AI stuff, they just see it as music. What I'm getting at is that unfortunately we can only do so much in this system. If you were to even begin to get a platform like Alex Jones or anything like Nick Fuentes, every word that you say, Andrew Wilson, you step out of line, you're going to have repercussions, and they may be dire in some circumstances. So I'm just going to say,
yeah, everything is correct. You know, they are like deep into like some dark shit. You know, the elites, you know, the satanic elites, they are kind of satanic. You know what I mean? Well, they are satanic, but yeah, I think they have an idea of karma though, because you see, they do leave pennies in
I
the
think they truly believe that there is no karma for them, as long as they basically put in your face and tell you before they're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They think that if they put it in your face, that they can like lessen the burden of their karma.
Yeah, wouldn't it be? Ain't it gonna be funny when come to find out we knew about stuff like Jeffrey and other things all along, and people just said, "Well, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist." Oh, that's right, now it's happening. So you know, we told you so.
Yeah, Bronze Boy actually recommended me a good film that I wanted to check. It sounded like very disturbing, but it sounded like predictive programming too. It was directed by Michael Bay. Even though I don't like him, his
He's one
films
of the biggest. Yes, he's one of the biggest fucking social conditioning tools out there. Yeah.
Yeah, the name of the movie was the Island from 2005. It's about have you heard of that movie?
Too, with the algorithm on me. I think I accidentally watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, but let me read you just a little bit about this island. It's about these people who live on a utopian, isolated compound from the outside world. It's about 2 human clones. After Lincoln learns that the compound inhabitants are clones used for organ harvesting, as well as for surrogacy for wealthy people, the 2 escape with the goal of exposing the illegal cloning movement. So it's kind of like that one movie with what's it called again? The Truman Show, but more disturbed. It's like the Truman Show, but more disturbed. The Island from 2005. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, Brown's
Do you guys
recommended it. Seems interesting. So,
do you guys know the band Killing Joke? There's this song called I Am the Virus, and if you like go watch that video, like listen to it, has the lyric video, and it's got like these clowns, it's all black and white, and there's like friggin' weird gear windmills and all sorts of stuff like that, the lyrics. And then you look at when that song was written, like that's a trip too, because like I think I like that band a lot. They're like kind of like they let you know what's up. before it happens. In a way, I don't think it's like they're not like in on it or anything. They've never gotten really super famous, and they're I don't know. A lot of people don't even know who they are, but it's undeniable. Like,
Well, one of the reasons why I definitely believe that strange things and coincidences do happen. If y'all haven't seen it, but it's that movie Good Boy about the dog whose owner allegedly is being attacked by. Allegedly, it's a metaphor for the guy's disease. But in one of the parts when the dog is out in the woods, he goes inside one of the tree stumps, and it's the same images that I put in that one video that I have of the two glowing eyes. But I ain't gonna lie, the fact is the eyes that they put in the movie that were glowing in the dark were exactly just a different color than the eyes that I saw in the dark. So I believe everything is connected. So when
that's something trippy. Whenever I was up in El Porvenir, which means the future in Spanish, by the way, which is kind of weird because I didn't know that until after I got back from camping, I saw eyes in the clouds, and then like the eyes that Annapurna had, like for her picture for a long time, there was like the same eyes. And then I saw there was a Perfect Drug for 9 Inch Nails video that had a green version of those exact same eyes. I mean, it was like the exact same eyes. So
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, wasn't her eyes the eyes of Shiva, whatever?
yeah, it
Well, I
totally.
mean, yeah, I mean that's why
I
they
saw
sat there and threw her up there on the Empire State Building a few years ago as a big projection, red and black with demon fire, so that way they let you know who they worship.
But
Allegedly.
I was waiting for the moon to rise, and the eyes were like undeniable in the clouds. And it's weird because there was like three of them, because one of them faded out, and then a third eye like came, so there was two eyes again on the other side, and I got video of all of it. It was fucking crazy.
It's the drugs. No,
No, I wasn't on drugs. I was just camping. I was like, I was just excited because Saturn was right by the moon, and we were like up in the mountains.
it was a solar flare.
It was kind of weird because I felt like I drove through a time portal on the way up there, because there's this town called Montezuma, and it's really funny because there's there's a university there that looks like a Russian castle, and it's on Armand Hammer Boulevard. So that's kind of weird because the guy Armand Hammer. I don't know if you know that name. There's also a rapper called that, Armand Hammer.
No, I had no clue what baking soda was.
No, it's not Arm and Hammer. It's Armand Hammer. Like, and if you look up the name, it's like some Nazi or something.
See, Kyle.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing because it's like all these things just kind of stack. And you might, unless you circle back, you'll never notice them. I think that's the trick, circling back.
Well, good thing they're working on frequencies for your brain.
Yeah. My brain is cancer-free. Yay.
But is it emotion-free?
Oh, no, of course not. I am emotional as a human being.
We don't like that. HR would like a word with you.
Well, I'm sure they would. They can go fuck right off. Or they can come and knock on my door if they can get in to the gate, you know? They can come up and talk to me. Sure. As long as they don't shoot my fucking dog.
Oh, I'm sure they can get through the gate. Some of the vehicles I've seen, it's a little worrying. But
So two things. You know who else used those eyes is in the Hercules movie for Hera. They always had those eyes. Like, you remember Hera, like Hercules' dad. They always use those kind of eyes with like a feather in it, so it looked like had like this weird like feather symbol.
We're not worthy.
Yep. I had a sex dream about Kevin Sorbo once.
Uh-oh. Well, he's gay, so.
Let's be honest. Who hasn't? No, he's not. He's a Christian. He's like a weird Christian.
He's gay. If you're willing to kiss another fucking man on TV or in a movie, you're fucking gay.
I don't know. Lots of French
people. He might be in a cult, but he's
you're not very Christian if you're willing to kiss another grown man for money. There you go. You're even gayer.
Yeah. kiss. I don't know what the big deal is with kissing.
That's like me walking over to TML and kissing him on the lips. That's pretty gay.
If you think it is, it definitely is.
Well, I mean, it's different. A little side peck on the cheek out of respect is different, but I'm not trying to kiss my brother like Judas, so.
Yeah, I think Judas got a bad rap, though.
It's okay. I'm sure Jesus will forgive him.
How do you know that he didn't put him up to it? That's what my question is.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
That's right. It takes a demon to cast out demons.
So before I forget, I wanted to mention this really quick. Did you guys remember the Arm and Hammer guy? So so what's weird is like that guy's like a weird like Jewish Russian dude, and then his family is like really famous in L.A. and like some of his sons or grandsons or something like that. Like apparently they were saying like these women were saying like they chained them up and beat them and tried to like drink their blood and all kinds of like insane stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying. That university was established by this guy or something, or it was named after him. It's like a universal college or something. It's really weird. I kind of did a little research into it.
Oh,
And
look who his back picture is.
what's the name of that? If you don't mind, let me know.
it's in Montezuma, New Mexico. You can look it up. It's on Armand
Well,
Hammer.
isn't that close to where Epstein had a little ranch out there?
Possibly. Well, it is in New Mexico, but New Mexico's a big place. It'd be in northeastern New Mexico. And
Yeah,
there's
I might
like
have to look into that. That sounds might be some correlation.
Yeah, there's hot springs there, and we went camping just north of there at El Porvenir. And the guy that we rented the camping space from, I would love to have like a huge like festival up there someday because he's got a huge amount of land and you can rent it out. And he's got like porta potties and there's like animals and stuff. It'd be like not like a huge festival, but I mean like a
Right.
nice.
We'll
be a
catch
nice
them at the
place.
hot gates where their vast numbers won't count for shit.
And there's free hot springs where you can soak, and it's donation based. It's been turned over to the local. The hot springs have been returned to the university after COVID because it was a bed and breakfast, and they shut it down because they couldn't stay open past COVID. And but it's like really nice. I had so much fun there. It was beautiful, but there's definitely some weird energy up there.
That sounds like. Never mind.
Is there interdimensional potbelly pedophile demons?
No, but there's red dragonflies. Huge red dragonflies. And there's a creek. There's a creek that runs up there, and it's called the Beaver Creek, which is really hilarious.
Beaver
Right.
Creek?
Yeah, Beaver Creek. There was the biggest fire in New Mexico. The most damage was about like 4 or 5 years ago up there, and it was so beautiful whenever we went up there because all the ash was like fresh flowers and all the new growth. Beautiful. We saw deer
Are you breathing?
and breeding butterflies, little yellow and black butterflies breeding. Wild hollyhocks.
Will you feel the same way if Yellowstone goes off?
No, we'll probably all just be dead because our lungs will
Oh.
freeze from the pyroclastic ash. We'll get to be fossils, though, probably.
Well, we can just wear some masks and we'll be okay. I mean, that seems to be the catch-all.
No,
solution.
just be like John Cusack and trade a watch for a plane.
Why would you want to do that? So you could survive the nuclear winter, essentially, that will come shortly thereafter.
I mean, unfortunately, a plane is not going to do much good because, electromagnetic pulse will knock it out of the sky, even from a few good 100 miles away. But yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I was
luck.
going to say the one way to take AI out is the sun could do it for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. A mile into the soil, that'll really send us back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Because in all likelihood, if the Earth was to actually get hit by like a powerful solar flare, it's gonna wipe away the atmosphere. Sorry, if it's allegedly as big and as fiery as what they say in science.
Well,
But believe your graphs.
if we had a Carrington event impact right now, it would probably take us back to the Stone Age, but not kill us.
Oh, so a repeat of New York. We just need a little, little poof.
Be more like Toronto, but like times like definitely exponential growth
Sounds it
levels.
sounds false. It sounds false.
Well,
I don't know. A good majority of America still relies on pretty old power lines that haven't been replaced in like 30 or 40 years. So
and they don't make backup generators. They don't have them just laying around. So it would take a long time for the grid to get back up.
I think our hospital can operate, and it's a pretty big hospital. So it could probably run for maybe a week off of its generators last time I talked to someone. But even then, that's cutting it. So I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that even my city, they're failing at infrastructure, but I guess you can thank the alleged CCP or bad Democrats for that. So
They're not failing.
I mean, I don't know. Spending millions of dollars on attractions for the crackheads and homeless, and then a few $1,000,000 in a casino instead of worried about your infrastructure and the criminals in your city seems to be pretty misuse of funds. But yeah. Hey,
Well,
vote red. Vote red.
Who told you that they cared?
No. Just all the psyoping I've consumed that told me to vote.
Did you vote?
Yeah, if you've ever
No,
driven
I've
from
never
Albuquerque,
voted a day of my life.
if you've ever driven from Albuquerque to Portland, then you know
Yes, you
that they
have.
don't give a shit about infrastructure because those freaking highways are not well maintained. None of the highways are maintained.
Lord, you don't think you voted a day in your life, but you like vote at the grocery store.
Oh, that's right. Every time I spend a shekel on a piece of bacon.
I mean, that's a vote.
Well, I mean, I'd be eating human flesh already. Oh, that's right. It's called McDonald's.
So I don't know. I'm saying voting seems unavoidable.
Sure, I guess I get your drift, but as far as going into a ballot box and dropping, a check, no. I mean, I don't roll with donkeys or elephants.
Who is this derp we're staying at? I'm just curious.
It's Professor Dave Explains. He's got a huge channel, I guess, or whatever.
Would you debate him?
He looks
Who, this
derp.
guy?
Professor Dave.
He's got a check mark, so I'd say probably no.
I just wanted to say one thing
debate
before. I just want to say one thing before we move on. Brown's boy, Lorp did get your drift, but he didn't get your wood, so that's what he's waiting for. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but we don't talk to people with check marks. Those people are
That was
feds.
pretty good.
The wood is dead. Oh.
So yeah, so let's see what he says.
A couple months ago, I did a reaction video where I made fun of some random creationism videos, including one that I referred to as a cringy after-school special. One of the other ones was made by some jerk named Jay Dyer. I'd never heard of him, but in typical thin-skinned troll fashion, he threw a tantrum in response, thereby opening himself up for quite a lot more humiliation. Let's take a look. If you missed this reaction video, give it a watch at some point, since it was quite a rollicking time.
The billions of years that I
About to pretend none of that happened.
Oh, Jimbot's there. Made by Jimbot. Nice. So they're getting
Corner man.
So they're on million view channels here.
Getting
So
some
this is
cross
probably-
promotion. Cross
This is
promotion.
yeah, this is most likely gay ops, honestly.
And
Yeah,
funny,
this
funny how the guy on the right kind of looks like the guy on the left. Wow,
Yeah, this has gotta
it's
be
almost
gay
as
ops.
if like they pick them off and say, how close can we get them to look alike? One's got a tiny
What's his
beard,
name?
one got
Flat
a thick
Earth?
beard.
No, his name is
He's the guy who looks at the flat
Professor
Earth people.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor Dave. He to me he seems like he's in a media outlet
Yeah. for
that
sure.
is mainly looking at the flat earthers but yeah, like so like
Yeah,
it's
his
funny to
voice
see the media outlet guy.
He's voice acted
It's funny
before.
to see him.
Did you notice that the dude on the right's mic matches Jim Bob's shirt almost in color scheme? I'm sure that wasn't coincidence. Sorry, I just noticed small things like that.
These are just media. These seem to just be media guys that are like doing gay ops.
Here are some snippets so you can get a sense of it.
You cannot empirically verify or demonstrate the billions of years that a chance universe would need to give rise to life or whatever, which I don't even think is. I think that's an absurd question to begin with. But
you can't empirically demonstrate what? What the fuck are you talking about? You can't empirically demonstrate the age of the Earth? Because yes, you fucking can, which is how we know the age of the Earth.
Also, most of those mutations are just replications of the same gene, which don't do anything.
Right.
It doesn't add anything, or it sheds something. So it's like
no fucking idea what you're talking about with genetics confirmed. Most mutations are not gene duplication. Most mutations are point mutations. Point mutations can have a very significant effect. Often they don't. Most of the time they don't. Gene duplication is comparatively a much rarer occurrence. But if you have gene duplication, then you have the opportunity for neofunctionalization. That second copy can accumulate many point mutations to code for a completely different protein that could have a completely different function.
And it started spinning, and then it kind of turned into a dust ball, and it kept spinning, and then it collected more dust, and then it hardened and crystallized into a giant perfect ball that is.
It didn't crystallize. It's called fucking gravity, you dumb piece of shit. All matter.
It's just gonna be this.
Hold on. So, yeah,
the
way this guy debates is exactly how leftists on TikTok debate. You're a fucking idiot. Oh my god.
Well, because all it's supposed to do is get people who basically believe in what he's pushing to automatically disregard any other way of thinking. That's what it comes down to. You'll automatically be like, well, you're stupid, you're retarded. It'll make you automatically disregard anything that the other person says.
But it's weird. Like, he's not explaining why the thing that the dude is saying is dumb. He's not explaining why he's right. He's just like throwing facts out, and he's like, "Oh, this. So you're dumb
exactly.
because I have this fact in my head."
Because science rules.
Right. Well, it's not even science. Like, what's the like?
That was a joke.
If they had to tell you the scientific method they use to discover the age of the Earth, most people would be like, well, that seems a little dubious. Like they're not going to do that, of course.
Well, I've always noticed it's a way to automatically shut down any idea of opposition. You'll never question the shape or anything that we teach about the Earth because, we're right and you're wrong no matter what you say. It's an automatic shutdown tactic. It's to make people who are easily emotionally compromised to, become emotionally compromised. Telling you, it's more of a play on people's emotions. If you go and like how people try to do it to me, you don't piss me off. Eventually I'm going to scream at you because if you've been allowed to rant this long, you've got a fucking issue. So again, it's to attack emotionally unstable people who can't handle pressure. You just call people stupid and retarded. They look how they do it to you. I mean, like when you get on TikTok and how these people start to verbally assault you and call you names and stuff, and they think that because you go silent that somehow means that their attacks have won against you. But in reality, you're just shutting up because they're emotional crybabies.
Well, and then when I do start talking, they immediately interrupt. Like, no.
Yep. Yeah, it's just emotional tactics. It's to quiet any dissent at all. You can't question anything if you can't speak.
It's just to show that like all these people on every side, from Jadire to this professor retard or whatever his name is, they're all there to do the same thing. Like they're all there to like basically just shut you up, don't say anything. You're not an expert. You don't know anything. That's all they're there to do. Is like try to like.
And they're both presenting straw man
bullying tactics.
Well, they're both presenting straw mans of their own positions to begin with. 2. Neither of them are correct in totality.
Right. Like, I don't know why dude got up and started talking about physics either. Like, it is kind of like, like usually like when people are talking about like physics or science on my show, I just let them talk about it. Like, I don't butt into the conversation. It's like if I don't know something about a topic, I won't really say much about it, for sure. But yeah.
Attracts all other matter by gravity.
What good is 1/8 of a PP? It's no good. Like you got to have the PP and the testicles, right?
Oh, that's pretty clippable right there.
Yeah, somebody clip that out real quick.
It's no good. Like you got 1/8 of a PP. It's no good. Like you got to have the PP and the testicles.
That's actually funny. I don't know what he's talking about, but it's pretty funny.
It's because he likes it.
Matter by gravity.
What good is 1/8 of a PP? It's no good. Like you gotta have the PP and the testicles.
Dude, this guy sounds gay as fuck.
Life is a fucking LARP. Oh fuck.
Oh boy. Jim Bob seems very pleased. Jim.
Right. So what good is 1/8 of a PP? Because there would be millions of years where the process of the PP comes to be PP. Right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. What good is 1/8 of a vagina? No good. Pointless.
What? That can't be true, right? Surely it's got to be worth something. 5 cents or something.
Tree fitty.
Tree fitted. I'll give you tree fitted for 1/8 of your vagina. Oh, whoa! He got stabbed in the ass. All right, let's go on.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Speechless. So as you can see, this guy Jay is a moron. His friend in the corner is a moron. And both of them are engaging in weapons grade denial and a few other infantile defense mechanisms on a moment-to-moment basis in order to convince themselves that they aren't complete morons. One of the problems with delusional bottom-of-the-barrel morons like these is that they absolutely can't stand it when educated people remind them how fucking dumb they are, something I do quite a lot. So naturally, when Jay caught wind of...
That's actually true. Like, if you got a few million, like somebody who's got 100,000 is actually just a peon. Like somebody like Andrew Wilson is actually just a peon, right? Like,
which he himself did admit.
Yeah, he did admit that, right? He admitted that to Flowstein. Right, so let me see what this is. Crucible by Andrew Wilson. It says it's got 300K. So yeah, so they're basically nothing compared to this dude.
My innocuous reaction video, he got big mad. So mad, in fact, that he did.
And nor will they ever be, because in the past they called themselves, Big Papa Fascist, and they did a bunch of, shows like with science denial and stuff. You can't do that stuff. Only this type of dude can reach the level. Like
he chose red and blue for his name. I'm sure that's not coincidence.
Right. He also looks very Jewish, like for sure.
He beat me to it. Little response video. It's called Jay Dyer Responds to Atheist Professor Dave Debunking Creationism Video. And the thumbnail says, Science Boy Refuted. Isn't that adorable? Look how hard he's stroking his chin here. I guess he gave his wee-wee a break in order to make this desperate damage control. Now, look, to be perfectly clear, I am well aware that it is way beneath me to be responding to this turd. But here's the thing.
Oh, it's just feedback. I thought somebody was trying to say something.
I just put out my Peter McCullough video a few days ago, which I worked very, very hard on for about 2 weeks, and it performed like shit. I don't know if my more politically relevant content is getting deliberately throttled or what the fuck is going on, but I've got mouths to feed. So for every one of those deep dives, which I readily acknowledge...
Yeah, somebody got some beast-ass feedback right now. But yeah.
is the most important function my channel could possibly serve. I have to churn out a couple low-effort dunk fests like this one. I don't know how to rectify this. When I do a video on a legitimate target, if everyone could please share it all over the socials to help generate some momentum, that would be highly appreciated. If those videos were getting the view counts they deserve, I would focus on that. And
look at what the hell was that, dude? Is this like the Hall of the Jays? Steve Kirsch, Peter Corey, A.V. Loeb. Holy smokes, dude. It's like 4 Jayish dudes. Like, what is going on? Is his opposition also just Jays? Like, see, this seems like it's like gay ops. Because look how he only attacks like certain people who look like this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and he's also just attacking him for like saying mean words. He's not actually attacking him for like the substance of what he's actually saying.
Right.
Which
He's
is,
like, he said
again,
pee-pee. Right. You know? Like, what the fuck?
He's like, Mommy, he said the pee-pee word.
He's going to tell on him.
highly appreciated.
To the
If those
Jew
videos
too.
were getting the view counts they deserve, I would focus on that and never lower myself to replying to a brainless hick like Jay Dyer. But Daddy's got to hustle, and I can make a video
So-
like this in like a day and a half.
All right, whoever's Echo that is has got to go. Like,
He said brainless hick. Yeah, but I think you can turn on echo. Like, if you float over, you know, like
who is that? I can't.
For
tell
the
who it is.
record,
Everyone else is muted.
it is not
definitely
me.
Browns. It's definitely Browns, but all you gotta do is float over him
Okay,
and put like
well,
echo cancellation and
it's
and
not him. I
reduce
just muted
background
him. It's not him.
No, yeah, it's gone now, bro. Like, what you got to do is you got to put like you got to hover over his name, right? And you got to.
He's gone now. He's
audio.
gone now. He's gone now.
Yeah, but still,
gone now.
like, I'm just telling you how to fix it, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
I
if you
know.
hover over.
No, but when I muted him, it was still echoing. That's why I was confused. So
Yeah, but if you go over the 3 dots that are next to his name, you know that like a bunch of options will like it'll come up if you go.
yeah,
to, like,
no, I know how to do it. You got to edit mic settings. Yeah,
yeah,
I just but he was muted when it was going, and then he unmuted, and then I muted him, and it still was going. So that's why I was confused. But yeah, so
I feel like it left as soon as you muted him. But yeah, but I think we could have fixed that. All right, but yeah, so
I got
Brown,
it. Yeah,
back up.
come
if you
back.
get- we can fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, come back. But yeah, this guy just admitted that this is all like, well, I need more views, and he gives me views, so I'll respond to get more views. So he just admitted it's basically a gay op, essentially.
No, sometimes they can. Sometimes they just put it right in your face that they're only there for the views. Like I found out that on Facebook, there are content creators who get paid every time. For every fucking time someone comments, and for every time that they reply back and someone likes the post, shares it, or interacts, they get paid for it. And it's all a psyop. Because I'm telling you, I'll send you some of the screenshots. I swear it's like it's like the AI thing. I know everyone has a mutual experience where like people can relate to things, but there have been a few of these posts by these alleged content creators that are just a little too close to what I've actually been through. So I'm just saying that it's very sus how the system seems to be promoting on different platforms. So everything's a psyop, dude. It's either you get offered a seat in a position at YouTube and something like that, and you get paid to do it. Like with that dude, he's still streaming Roblox. Look what just came out with Roblox a few days ago about the two little girls or whatever being taken by that dude off of Roblox who drove like 1,500 miles to go and get them. So yeah, it's one big system that's perpetuated harm on the masses for God knows how long. So maybe one day we'll wake up to it, right? Don't seem like it right now, sir.
So here we are. With that out of the way, do you think JJ was able to refute anything I said in my video like he promises in the thumbnail, or even acknowledge the simple facts I provided? Place your bets. Let's get started.
People pointed out, oh, Professor Dave refuted you. I'm like, I'll bet you he didn't. I think he played a clip of me and Jim Bob. Let's see if we can find it. Look at his face. It's like the most smug atheist face.
Yes, kiddo. Everyone who knows how pathetic you are must have a smug face. Definitely don't reflect on how smug you have to be in order to reject entire fields of science you don't understand because they hurt your feelings. By the way, you're laying on the retro wave aesthetic a little thick here. Neon border with 80s font and palm trees on top of the neon sign with a palm.
I mean, that might be true enough. And I'm pretty open to things I can't like readily prove, right? Like as being a hard maybe. I mean, so on and so forth. So I mean, like, but yeah, to just not ask any questions like Professor Dave does is actually just a sickness. Right? It's like the disease of skepticism, and scientific rationalism. Right? Honestly.
Tree while wearing a Depeche Mode shirt? Are you cosplaying in anticipation of the Miami Vice reboot? Maybe take it down a notch or two.
Oh, but look, he's got chemical formula and equations all over his page. It must be pretty sciencey.
Yes, because I studied and taught chemistry, I am able to produce top-notch educational content, such as this tutorial on organometallic catalysis that you don't stand a shot in hell at understanding. When your response to science that goes way over your head is to sarcastically pronounce, "It must be pretty sciencey," you know that you have no business a shot in hell at understanding. This tutorial on organometallic catalysis
or organometallometallysis. He wanted to say a big word. I mean, that just sounds so fucking cringe, man. Like you sound like a fucking loser. Organometallysis. First of all,
have you noticed that they use guys like this to keep like normal people out of the STEM? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like if you had to have this guy as your professor, you'd be like, oh my god, like I'll just quit college now.
Yeah, like you wouldn't explain my really obscure finding from 1938.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, nobody would want. I wouldn't want him as my professor. No.
So I had this really fat, like maybe Jewish kind of guy as my chemistry professor in high school. And he was actually from like the chemical industry, and he quit to go teach because he's like, I just got tired of it. And he was a really nerdy, annoying guy, but he was way more masculine than this guy. You know what I mean? Even as a fat, short, guy, he was like, like you'd ask him a question, like, well, let me give you a very good answer. And, he would tell bad jokes and stuff, but it was nothing like this
Yeah.
level of cringe. It's like,
yeah, like I'm honestly thinking, like watching this, like who would I rather smoke a blunt with, like Jay Dyer and Jim Bob, or this fucking dude? And it's pretty obvious to be Jay
Jim
Dyer
Bob and Jay Dyer,
Like, real talk,
100%.
100%.
For real,
like,
exactly.
they're still way better than this.
Even as much as I don't like them, like I would actually like probably have fun hanging out with them or something. Like they actually make me laugh at least.
Like this is so bad. Like this is bad on purpose.
Be like, Pol Pot, please, like throw them in a ditch. That's what I pretty much would be like.
This might be the gay op they're looking for, though, because it's like you get somebody that's so cringe to attack you that already has a huge following that really can't be taken down because they're like a small hat or something. Right? So it's like, yeah. So this would be like the perfect person to get you.
Because it's so PC though. That's the thing. Like this guy could like literally get a show on the Disney Channel next week. That's where
right. Right.
Yeah.
He's like, you know about science. Go play with your wee wee, little boy.
God, it's one
that
big
you don't
LARP.
stand a shot in hell at understanding. When your response to science that goes way over your head is to sarcastically pronounce, "It must be pretty sciencey," you know that you have no business speaking publicly.
Welcome to Professor David.
This is like the peak era of smug atheist YouTube scientism.
Uh-oh, he's busting out the scientism accusations. Brainwashed idiots have nothing but projection. Also, is this really the era of people explaining to you how you're stupid? It seems like something that must have been consistently happening throughout your entire adult.
So instead of acknowledging that there is a such thing as scientism, and some people go way too far using science to explain things that cannot be explained by scientific means, right? He's just saying, oh, well, there's no such thing as scientism. So that's a red
He's
flag.
just like, let me just double down on it, even though I know for a fact it's true. Like, it's to his audience to tell them, like, don't ever concede an actual point to somebody you disagree.
Yeah, you can't use science to explain why you love your wife or why you chose this woman rather than a different woman. And if you made all the calculations, it wouldn't really matter anyway.
Actually, we have documents that prove mathematically that, well, it's just that.
That's usually how it goes, though.
Bro, shut the fuck up for a second. I'm on a show right now.
Hood.
So here's the strength of my argument, and the reason that I always beat these types of people, these scientism goblins. And I think everybody in this audience already knows why. It's because, first of all, I went to college with these guys. I studied under these dudes. So my philosophy of science professor was one of these guys. He was like a hardcore, atheist scientism guy.
Oh, snap. We're all toast because of this fucking machine, dude. It's going to fucking blow us all to smithereens. Is this just Battleship with a video game? It's not very creative, honestly. No. This is just a board game.
He's ever beaten anybody at anything. I can't imagine this tool winning at Hungry Hippos, much less anything even remotely intellectual. Second, I find it pretty hard to believe that he went to college at all. But if he did, he's basically just pretending that his introductory philosophy of science class that he certainly failed had a bad professor just because he was too stupid and lazy to absorb anything that was taught. His defense mechanism is to complain about scientism and crap his pants on YouTube for the rest of his life instead of admitting that he's too dumb to learn anything.
Holy smokes, dude. Like, he just made so now we're going back to like Jay Dyer's life, and like he did really bad in a science class, and that's why he's lashing out against science.
And he's saying this guy didn't go to college when he literally has a master's degree. So like, I mean, you can again, like, I'm not the biggest Jay Dyer fan, but like to say, oh, he didn't even go to college. I mean, look, I mean, like,
right,
he didn't even take 2 seconds to research what he's saying, obviously.
Right.
So.
Like, do some research for your fucking video, dude. Like, what? But yeah,
he spent too much on the editor to make a funny video rather than like take 10 seconds to go Google, like, does Jay Dyer have a degree or something?
Yeah, but one thing is for a fact, for being a master's in philosophy, like, Jay Dyer has produced like very little like philosophical works. Like, I know he has like one book where he has like philosophical essays, but like for him to be like, I don't know, I think he might be like 45 years old. Like, he should have produced like 2 or 3 like philosophical works.
Here's the reason why. He's
Christian
too busy
apologetics? Like, why hasn't he
busy doing
apologetics?
He's too busy doing the great work. That's why.
The great LARP. Yeah.
Yeah, only the real one's gonna know what I mean by that. But I'll see if that gets clipped, and then somebody will get mad at me for saying that. But we'll see.
But most importantly, pay attention to the dishonest framing. He's already whined about atheism like 5 times in the first minute of the video, in addition to putting it in the title. Who said I was an atheist? Where did he get that information? I don't mention it in the video. I happen to be one, but I'm a hardcore atheist for some reason. How does that work? I don't have a single video on my entire channel promoting atheism. In fact, I don't care about it at all. So where does hardcore come from?
The reason why you're a hardcore atheist is because there's millions of people who have that belief that don't have 1 million followers and have a prodigious amount of content against religious like forms of thinking, and saying that you're retarded if you don't believe science, even though it contradicts the Bible sometimes. Right? So that's why people think you're a hardcore atheist there, fellow. It's nothing against you. It's just because not many people are as prodigious as yourself.
Well, and it's also this. Like, people just say science when the science is all about the process. Science has nothing to do with conclusion, right? Like, this is the big problem of when people say, "Well, that's just science." It's like, "Well, show me your work," and they're like, "Well, that would take too long." It's like, "Well, then you're not talking about science, and you're talking about like a conclusion that you've come to based on some process that you don't want to talk about, right?" So that's the problem. Yeah.
Oh, don't you dare question scientific method.
Well, that's the funny thing. I actually don't question the scientific method. That's what's funny about it. Is like, I don't think the scientific method is like bad in and of itself. Like, my point is that people just come to conclusions, and then you say, well, like, how did you get that? And they're like, well, I don't want to talk about that. And you're like, was it the Kabbalah? Did you start as your hypothesis, and then you found evidence to prove your hypothesis based on the Kabbalah? And they're like, oh, well, yes, but that's irrelevant because the science is not proving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, like, if you give a man a how-to, he'll find a why. Or whatever. Right, definitely.
Would I suddenly be a hardcore yoga fanatic?
I appreciate that.
Right, yeah,
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that because I don't even know what I said, but yeah, that's definitely what it feels
That's
like when you
definitely
talk to people.
the takeaway message, for sure. Yeah, it's like they'll invent a number of justifications for things, and the justification is post hoc. That is basically what I was thinking. Like it's basically saying the same thing. In a Lowell's technological society, right? That if you develop all these methods for doing stuff, they have to be employed because it's like you can't not use something that you developed that works the best. Like because you took all this fucking time to develop it, right? Like it's almost like it has to be used.
See, I'll go ahead and give this away. One of the reasons I love trolling people about Christianity too is like because if they ever try to say, well, you're just post hoc saying all the stuff about Christianity, it's like, well, look at everything that you believe in. It's the same exact thing. So even if that were true, it doesn't discount. It doesn't stop me from discounting everything you're saying because everything you're saying is just like taking other people's word for it post hoc and like fitting it into your own worldview. So it's like it doesn't really mean it's not really an argument against Christianity exactly. I mean, maybe you could argue somewhere down the line there would be there, but nobody's really doing that, right? Like it's just a bunch of different people pulling post hoc arguments out of their ass and saying, well, I don't like it, and then finding things to fit why they don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and one could very easily justify how it's not science that is the dominant factor when we make most of our decisions. There's a number of other things that can't be scientifically verified, right? And it's not science that governs the decision-making process, right? Like when we invent things, sometimes a lot of inventions are based on our previous technological advances, and they're based on unique discoveries that occur through those technological means, and also scientists themselves are conditioned through these various technological means. So to a large degree, it's technology that's driving science and not science that's driving technology. Back in the day, you had a state, you had a department of people where they would create scientific inventions, right? Like for war and stuff, right? And most of these were private decisions, right? That were either made by kings or by inventors and stuff, right? But they weren't sort of based on research firms and organizations that cost billions of dollars, right? And so anyways, and that are controlled by the state, right?
See, he knows he's a science illiterate moron with zero ability to refute any of the science I present, which is universally accepted by all educated people, religious or not. So
that's another thing I was going to say. A lot of the, one could argue that politics has more of a precedence than science does, when we make most of our decisions, right? Yeah.
100%. And I think somebody was the other day was saying that I can't remember. Somebody was saying the other day, I think he was most people's philosophy just boils down to like their political views. And I think that's true. And again, that's why it's like most people, they don't really have like philosophical opinions or anything like that at all. It's almost exclusively just political. Yeah. And most people, even more than religion to a lot of degree, right? Like because religion's already been conflated so much with politics that most of what people are saying is their religious opinion is most often going to come down to like some political, like, well, I want this in the world, so I believe this and I'll fight for this. But it's really a political thing. Like they want something out of it, essentially. In my opinion, I mean, maybe it can be argued that I'm wrong, but yeah, I think that's a good point for sure.
And the link between atheism and scientism is liberalism, right? It's just that simple, right? I mean, liberal secular society, right? It took church out of the government, right? So, I mean, it's pretty obvious why atheism and scientism go hand in hand, because scientism, which is actually just naturalism, right? It's kind of like saying, like, well, there's nothing that's sort of metaphysical or supernatural going on here, right? If you make a conclusive statement like that, then you have to know the nature of our existence. You have to know, you would have to ascertain a certain, metaphysical presumptions, right? So that's the problem with naturalism, right? So, and that is on the very basis where Jim Bob and Jay Dyer attack it, right? So, so I don't know why he's having such a hurdle understanding the main issues, right? Or even responding to them. It's like he's incapable of responding to the critiques.
In the beginning, he has to shift the framing from.
It's saying the issue is logical positivism, basically, which is like naturalism. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because as we'll see, the logical positivists, they casted away metaphysics, right? They said metaphysical ideas, even though they're baked into the science, right? You can't do science without them, right?
Wasn't that Quinn's point, though? I think he wrote a paper about that, Quinn, right? He criticized logical positivism because he said that the metaphysics is already baked into it. Like,
right.
He wrote an article.
Right, and that's and that's something that Jay Dyer brought up in his debate with T-Jump, right? He brought the paper Two Dogmas of Empiricism, right? And then the T-Jump guy badgered him. He said, "What are the two dogmas? What are the two dogmas?" so he kept asking him to explain the paper, right? And calling him a dummy. But yeah, it is critical that we understand the main issues, right? And on both sides, right?
A discussion of science to desperately attacking atheism because he thinks that anyone who accepts science must be an atheist. That's how fucking dumb this guy is.
Even though he was a rabid scientism proponent, he actually encouraged everybody to understand philosophy of science. And people like, I've never watched Professor Dave, but I'm assuming that he would not care about philosophy of science.
Never watched my channel, huh? I call bullshit. You know exactly who I am, and you know that I've done quite a lot of work debunking creationists 100 times smarter than you. How else would you know that I'm an atheist? Once again, you wouldn't get it from this video. Dumb people are so bad at lying. Also, I took a philosophy of science course in college too, dumbass. I read Popper and Kuhn and Lakatos and all the other shit you pretended to understand in your class. I'm just able to appropriately contextualize it since I was also studying science and know how science works. That's why I don't pretend that some random essay from 100 years ago.
Yeah, like Popper, Kuhn. I'm not really that familiar with Lakatos, right? But most of them will contribute to the view, of essentially scientism, right? Because with Popper and Kuhn, it's like you're going towards ever clearer forms of knowledge that then value the previous development, right? So it's like every new advancement, right, is exponentially greater than the last achievement you've made, right? So in both systems, like whether you're having a paradigm shift or you're reaching this, you're getting closer to like Popper's like wall. It's like he uses the Zeno's paradox. It's like when you're getting closer and closer to the wall, the object gets far away, gets further away. Like such as knowledge is like you find out stuff, you find out more about what you don't know, and then the next advancement, you have to overthrow everything that you previously learned. Right? So this is the whole thing with Popper and Kuhn. So, I mean, ultimately, they're saying is that there is no ultimate truth, right, to anything. You could just kind of go with the flow.
It's basically like which again, if it's all about the process, then that would be true. But again, that doesn't make a claim about truth. It just makes a claim about process, right?
Right.
So I guess that goes back to, I don't know if this is true or not, but it reminds me of like process theology or process philosophy, which I'm not sure if that's directly related to it or not, but that's what it reminds me of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with Whitehead, too. He said there's like an evolution of ideas. in the same way. And so God is changing and evolving, right? So so it's kind of like an excuse for dispensationalism, right? Well, we're under a new dispensation now, right? Because God's evolved, right? You can combine the idea of dispensationalism quite readily with process theology, right?
Has the ability to uproot the entire field of evolutionary biology. You're a pseudo-intellectual douchebag who skimmed Kuhn's Structure of Scientific Revolutions and decided that any science that hurts your feelings must be wrong because paradigm shift, blah, blah, blah. I've seen it 1,000 times. You're exactly like that idiot Formscapes that I humiliated, except even quite a bit dumber. That jerk can at least put together sentences that sound smart to dumb people. You can't even do that. You're a brain-dead philo bro who clings to random buzzwords like scientism to pretend that your brainwashing is superior to actual empirical knowledge. It isn't.
Because usually scientism, physics type people, Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? They don't care about philosophy, and they actually discourage people from looking into it or studying it precisely because philosophy asks the questions that are difficult for them.
And of course, this dork thinks Neil is the president of science, just like every other science denier. None of us care if people read up on philosophy of science, genius. You just cling to it because you think it gives you the ability to magically hand wave away well-established science by regurgitating memorized phrases like a priori and the problem of induction. There is nothing more blatantly pseudo-intellectual that you could do.
You would think that since they have an interest in mathematics, that they would be able to do more abstract thinking, but they can't. It's really weird.
Yes, I understand math and organic chemistry and other abstract things. That's how I am able to teach these subjects at a very high.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that there is huge problems in philosophy of science that are basically intractable from the scientific worldview. Like, you can't come to a solid explanation from the scientific worldview for most of the ideas of like philosophy of science, right? There's like the hard problem of consciousness. There's like tons of factors. There's no actual scientific theories that really have a hard answer to like dualism or any real theory of mind. Right. So I mean, the problems are huge because let's just state that the thing that we're using to study the world, we don't understand what it is. Right. So that's a
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
tractable problem.
That's a really good way to put it. That pretty much sums up my view on science in a nutshell. It's like we don't understand what our mind or body is, or our place in the world, whatever the world is. So anything that we find, again, it doesn't. It's telling us something. It's not like an ultimate truth. You know what I mean? Like, it's just telling us something that we can observe or something. It's not telling us like, well, this is the end all be all of whatever, and it perfectly contextualizes our existence or something. Like, it's not really the gotcha that a lot of these guys pretend or seem to like project that they think it is. So yeah, say that last line one more time. I think that was a good way to put it. We don't understand what we're using to perceive things or something.
Yeah, of course. Like, it's the whole issue with epistemology, right? And this is why Kant is like the huge issue, right? Like, nobody solved Kant. This is why the critique of pure reason is still valid, right? It's because the a priori frames, right, which allow you to have knowledge and thoughts, you can't just think those away. And how did they get there in the first place, right? We don't actually know, right? So yes, the thing that you're using to understand the world, you don't understand, right? And you can't just base a whole understanding of the world, on such a faulty layer, right? Because how do you know you're not just looking at your own mind the
So
whole time?
would you say that Kant was basically saying like when? So you're saying that the things that became scientism existed before Kant? Am I understanding you correctly?
Well, yeah, like Kant is like responding to Hume. right? And Hume was like a moral hedonist, and he said it's basically naturalism, and he believed in a radical form of empiricism. So he said you can't really prove causality, right? Because there may be minute causes in between the other causes. So it's kind of like this whole idea, like, where do you start to justify the existence of the external world? Well, you justify it by the existence of your own mind, right? That's the fundamental factor, right? That you can't explain, right? So
right, and that's kind of where people. So people that started with. I mean, it got codified with Descartes, right? And then Kant was basically writing against Descartes, right? Is that kind of what you're
Jay
saying?
Dyer presupposes God, but scientists presuppose mind, right? Or else they can't do their work, right? Or
right. Yeah, and again, I think that's kind of where the Kabbalah comes in, because isn't that kind of what the Kabbalah is trying to contextualize or supposedly contextualize, essentially?
Well, I think
Like the
it
problem of
goes
mind.
before the Kabbalah with Neoplatonism, right, where they're trying to explain how a universal mind could interact with the physical world, right? And that's kind of like what the Kabbalah is like trying to understand, like how God, which is this pure, unchanging thing, could interact with the world that's changed, and there's evil and degradation, and and sin and all. And how did all this get caused? Right? If God is good,
Right.
and He's removed
So
from it.
so then Kant is kind of writing against that to some degree, saying like, well, we need to take a step back and that hey, we need to take a step back and like look at what's going on, right? Because if he's saying against pure reason, isn't that kind of what reason? I mean, all that stuff that we talked about before is kind of based on reason, right?
Well, he's saying that reason doesn't exist because your mind uses like a priori, ways of basically like contextualizing, information from the external world, right? So there's these internal a priori forms of justification, and there's the external information that comes in that's reorganized, right, through the a priori like filters.
Right. You know
They're
what's
saying, like,
really sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so what he's saying is like there's no like metaphysical like space in which like abstract or pure reason exists that governs like the world, right?
See, this is really weird to me because honestly, I've never written Kant. I'm sure that's obvious, but what's weird is like it's very similar to what you're saying is like now a lot of these like TikTok communist talking point people that I'm talking about that have like a master's or a PhD and are for some reason posting very well edited, short form content every day about philosophy and postmodern Marxist ideas and stuff. They're saying very, very similar things to what you're saying of like, well, like now they're actually kind of weirdly moving past the whole racism and systemic racism, which is kind of why I was trolling those people because like they're actually moving past that and say, well, people have, preconceived notions and conditions that lead them to have racism or something like that. So we can't go and just blame people for that. We have to see that there's a way to process through those biases and prejudices. And I know that seems like unrelated to what you're saying, but I do think this is like a really weird like shifting that I'm seeing in the conversation about what's happening. Because now they're saying, well, because think about like racism as one of many different things that you could say about the problems of humans or problems of evil or something like this, right? Like, and they're saying, so it's almost like they're saying like, well, we have to like find some process for people to process their trauma and emotions and prejudice and all these things. And I think I have saved a few examples of this, but I really want to show you this and see like, do you think that this is like, am I tripping or is this like part of a larger, campaign of promoting some sort of weird, I don't know. I mean, because like what you're saying about Kant, because I never really understood what you're getting at with Kant, but I'm really trying to understand because what you're saying is like all the stuff that came after Kant, like postmodernism and communism and all the stuff, Hegel, is really just like ignoring what Kant did and just brushing past it like he didn't say anything, and then trying to misuse what he said for other things. I'm not doing justice to what you're saying, but I'm trying to put it in simpler terms for myself.
Well, I mean, almost all of like sort of postmodern, philosophy, even like Hegel, is obviously like, influenced by Kant, right? So like, what I think is that Kant made several errors, right? By creating these categories, right? Like, you know, he tried to resolve the problems of dualism, right, that existed in in the philosophy of Descartes, Spinoza, and Leibniz, right? And he tried to merge them with empiricism, right? So he really liked empiricism, and he also liked liberalism, right? And so did Hegel, right? They both sort of saw this as progress, right? And they both sort of saw like Kant saw like the setting up of like a world government that was going to resolve everything.
Okay, so what you're saying, I get you now. So what you're saying is like basically they just came in it with all their prejudices into what they're saying, and then contextualized reason and spirit and matter and all these things from their point of view of their what they wanted to see. So really they were just like, how do we sign up everybody to become a raging liberal so we can set up a world government? I mean, even if they didn't intend that, that's kind of what happened, right?
Pretty much. I mean, like it's like how we started out talking about like America and the New World, right? And like how the New World is also this concept from Swedenborg of the New Jerusalem, right? And the New World and the New Jerusalem, like basically like when Christopher Columbus was coming to America, he was looking for the New Jerusalem, right? So he wasn't gonna go back home until he figured out like which place is the New Jerusalem. You know what I mean, right? And once he figured that out, right, his whole goal, right, was in this like sort of like Swedenborgian like scheme or whatever, right? Was like that a new empire or a new world kingdom would like basically come about, right? And that's basically Swedenborg's whole plot. So Kant was basically a follower of Swedenborg, right? And Hegel's whole ideal goes towards like, see, Hegel's whole like the Hegelian dialectic, right, is basically like what Popper and Thomas Kuhn are saying. Like the old way of knowledge will be replaced by a new way of knowledge, right? Which will be based on the old one, but it won't resemble it in any way, shape, or form.
Right. So basically what they're saying is like there's no bedrock to build anything on. You're just going to keep building with new stones every time or something like that. Like there's never going to be an actual foundation, essentially. Like
Right.
progress is the only foundation. I get what you're saying. Gotcha. So it's like, and it's kind of like when you're
Right,
read
and what
like
drives
what's his name?
Right. And what drives progress? Chaos. Right. So
Right. Well, this is
Which
what's funny again.
and
Like all these like leftist weird TikTok accounts, they're all doing these weird like order and chaos and this and that. And it's very apparent that the average person going to watch this is going to go over their head. But really what they're saying is exactly what you said. Like, well, we need chaos in order to do it. But these mean old billionaires, they're just trying to use it to their advantage. So that's bad. But don't worry, we're going to use it to our advantage. It's going to be great. So it's like, okay, so you're just so you're saying there's nothing wrong with the process itself. You just don't like the way the direction is going from your point of view at the moment. So, but progress is going to happen regardless. So we just need to turn the chaos in our favor, essentially.
yeah, it's not order out of chaos. It's it's progress out of chaos. But the chaos is
Interesting.
like hidden or whatever. Right.
Right. Well, that's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. You say that for reasons I'm not going to get into now, but yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense. And because would you say that Nietzsche was trying to actually say order, but then everybody else was like, no, it's progress, but we don't say that out loud, essentially.
Yeah, Nietzsche seemed like he was against progress, right? For one end, he was a neoclassicist. In another end, he rejected liberalism, and then in a third end, he believed that like strife, right, like in the form of Heraclitus, would move things along, right? So he just believed in a sort of supernatural or like disorder that existed, right? Like a chaos that is a part of like a creative fire or spirit that exists within everything, right? And that would basically just, you know, it'll basically use you and just throw you away, right? Just like how nature uses the leaves in the winter, right, to create like better leaves,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Well,
Nietzsche just
I mean, don't pull my arm. No, he pulled my arm and then ripped the phone out of my hand.
That's funny. That's a bold move.
Yeah, no. Well, he's just trying to get my attention. He's trying to go run towards the beach or something. But no, but I kind of lost my point now. Come on. Shit. No, I was saying I kind of agree with what he's saying on that end, but I think so. You're saying there's a difference between that type of like what like things that are just inevitable inherently in nature and what these guys are saying. So they're saying that it's not enough to have like natural, chaos or the movement of time. We have to like organize it or construct chaos towards a particular end. Kind of like a Georgianian sense, I guess, or Luciferian sense, or
well, it's either it's either you try to jam things up and try to slow things down, right? So so that the move towards order becomes disrupted and becomes more refined, right? Or you cause bad shit now because it's going to inevitably go towards something good in the future, right? So all the badness is just focused towards the goodness that comes in the future, right? So you could go either way, right? The first path I call Discordianism. The second path I call accelerationism, right? So in one you use sort of nature. Yeah, go ahead.
So which side would Nietzsche be on?
Oh, he's definitely a a sort of Discordian, right? He's also like a nature worshiper, right? And he even saw like some of this himself because he made like the dialectic between Apollo and Dionysus, right? Which is like scientific rationalism versus like artistic hedonism or something like that. Yeah, we're just riffing. I don't think anybody else is there. Are you guys even there? I might just play some of this video now.
I'm here. I
Yep.
was filling out some forms and listening to you guys and taking some
Yeah,
supplements.
I can't hear anybody, so I don't know if anybody's talking.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. But my cat
Except
was
you,
being
I can hear
loud.
you, Machine. I don't know if anybody else is talking.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Can you
Bless
hear
is
me?
booed up. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Neuro?
Oh, yeah, he's gonna hop back in.
Okay, because I was like, I'm talking.
Yeah, I'll wait for him to come back up before we do anything, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna play some of this video. I'll be right back in a second.
High level. You, on the other hand, are physically incapable of abstract thought. Projection is a bitch.
But when it gets in the domain of metaphysics, like the good, or how do we justify a knowledge claim? These people are absolutely out to lunch. They completely fail.
That's funny. I can provide a justification for literally any scientific fact. I can explain to you what we know and how we know it. And I can do it first thing in the morning, way before my lunch break. Can you provide a justification for your rejection of scientific facts or for all the dumb shit you believe? Because I know you can't. More projection.
And I would bet money that Professor Dave doesn't know basic fallacies, doesn't know basic epistemic argumentation and the principles of justification either.
Oh, would you? Would you bet that I'm not an intellectually bankrupt loser like you who just shouts out the names of random logical fallacies when you can't refute basic science that proves you wrong? You might as well be a flat earther.
And it's funny because these people think that they have
when you start to make music, you just have to follow what's inside of you. Take a chance. Always be.
Take a chance on me.
Damn. It's like they know when you walk away, so they play commercials. You guys ever
I was
experienced that?
gonna sing over it or just start cursing. So
That was
good
weird,
job.
man. Neuro Jack's still not back. That's kind of weird. But yeah. All right.
cornered the market on logic and reasoning. But when you start to ask one level up abstracted questions like, what is logic? What is reason? Where is it? How is it? These people are done.
Here's the dictionary definition of logic, and here's the dictionary definition of reason. Where are they? Certainly not in that empty noggin of yours. How are these definitions going to help you deny the entire edifice of scientific knowledge, dipshit? Are you going to get to the science at some point, or is this just you pontificating endlessly?
It's not digital information. It's just a sequence of nucleobases. That's it.
Oh, how does Professor Dave know that the information encoded in us is just a sequence of whatever? How does he know that it's not actually meaningful information? So I think he doesn't understand that the sort of smug, snickering, dismissing actual meaningful information or telos, purpose.
How do I know? Because I understand 9th grade biology, you fucking tool. In transcription, you get an mRNA transcript from the sequence of nucleotides in the gene. And then each set of 3 bases in the mRNA transcript corresponds to a specific tRNA molecule and its associated amino acid. You didn't know that. You don't understand 9th grade level biology. And you have the balls to call me smug for knowing that while you sit there and fart out the word telos like it makes you intelligent. The smugness and reality denial is off the charts.
Even if
I'd be like, dude, then explain the placebo effect.
Right. Or really just, anything for that matter. Or like, how does life come from dead matter?
Yeah, how come they can't just friggin' make a... Well, I think Michael Evan's pretty close to making a new life form, but but why can't they just like friggin' make a biological thing out of all the stuff that makes us up? Why can't they just like put it together and just go, electrify it or something and just make it alive? They should do that if they could. Well, they shouldn't. I don't think they should. But, I mean, that would be good proof.
Yeah, one thing I will say that's unavoidable in life, is that, the semiotics, but the thing is, the semiotics, at least the way I see it, all of them work from Aristotelian framework. I don't think semiotics has to be Aristotelian, because at the end of the day, everything we respond to, everything we internalize is a sign. I mean, there's no two ways around that. And that's why I have issues with information theory, because, like Shannon's information theory, because I don't think information exists. I don't know what people mean by, at least the way they talk about it. Because, if you look at the membranes and you look at the genetic information, it has to be semiotic. So, even your cells are in a semiotic communication. They use signs, and then they have an interpretation that links sign to the object, and then the interpretation becomes
semiotics, because
signification.
What does semiotics mean? Just for, Because I don't know.
Yeah, it means like let's say yeah, there's a tick. Okay, there's a tick, and the tick smells blood. Like the blood emits a kind of acid that the tick smells, and it uses that smell from the blood to as a sign, and then based on that smell, it drops down, and then it sucks on the blood of the mammal or something. That's the object that and then what links those is the sign, which is the smell of the blood, and to the object, which is the mammal to suck blood. What links those are its interpretation. So
on the cellular level, how does that function? Is it just like, is it polarization, or just the way that elements happen to combine physically?
on the cellular level, you have membranes and the ion channels and other stuff, and the membranes help interpret the genetic material in the nucleus. So it's not like there's just genetic material and they're following it blindly. There has to be some activity within the membrane itself. And the book Biosemiotics by Jesper Hoffmeyer go into this more in depth. I had videos on this before and stuff, but basically, it's basically I'll explain more. Let me open up my video.
Can I
But
bounce
basically,
something off of you too? I watched this thing the other day, and it was saying how it might be possible that all life just is driven by reproduction, like its own reproduction. And it kind of it like started to really make sense that is like the whole drive for life is to replicate itself in all of its myriad forms.
yeah, that's the modern synthesis, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not totally sold on it either, but it was
Yeah,
pretty compelling
but
argument.
basically, biosemiotics is triadic. It's based on C.S. Pierce, object, sign, interpretant. That that environmental affordances become signs that organisms interpret to produce adaptive responses, interpretants, across molecular, organismic, and ecological level. So let's see here. I had videos on these matters, but I deleted it. But basically, like you have the sign, the interpretant, and object. Like a slap, it is a sign, and then that leads to anger. And the interpretant would be brain processes, and the interpretant becomes the sign of the next chain. Like there's a chain of signification. So it's like, and then it's like sign is contact deformation, object is disturbance, pressure pattern, and interpretant is series of action potential. But the point I'm trying to get at mainly is, it gets kind of complex, is that you have organisms linking cues, signs to world features, objects through action guiding effects, interpreted. And there's a code duality, like analog plus digital organization, that helps build these layers. Like, the analog dynamics are the membranes, and membranes are highly analog. And the digital aspect is like the base codons, the codons, like there are 3 of them, like A, C, G, T, but and you have like the mRNA, the RNA, but the thing is, those by themselves don't mean anything. The membrane has to interpret it. So, the membrane and the other organelles and stuff. So
You have to have all the building blocks to replicate it in your system as well. There's lots of different recipes to get to something similar, but like sometimes whenever you're nutrient deficient and things like that, your DNA will unzip a part that's like an alternate recipe for getting like the closest thing possible to the thing that it needs. And sometimes that's usually where bad things happen, is whenever it starts going into alternate recipes because you're nutrient deficient.
yeah, but the point is membranes make meaning, like organisms are layered interfaces. You have skin to tissues to cells to organelle membranes. Life runs on surface exchanges and compartment boundaries. Membranes aren't passive walls, receptors, transporters transduce outside cues into intracellular programs. Cells spend substantial energy maintaining this traffic. So like development is context dependent. Genomes encode parts and regulatory logic, but positional information comes from gradients, mechanics, and cell to cell signaling. For example, Philippoidea or where, so membrane growth and inheritance. Membranes extend by insertion into existing membrane. Membranes mediate and constrain webs of signs, relations, for example, receptors, transport cascades that shape development and physiology. So membranes mediate and constrain web of sign relations that coordinate biochemical, physiological, and cognitive processes alongside genomic and regulatory control. So in this sense, something like a neurotransmitter is a sign, and then it binds to the receptor, and that causes like an action potential or something. And the interpretant would be like what links the sign to the action potential. You see what I mean? Like, and that involves the membrane and stuff. Let me see
So why
here.
do you think that we like as humans, like what do you think the reason is for us like having like 20% of all of our energy allocation like running our like brain
Yeah.
as opposed
Well,
to like, because I mean the rest of the system like it takes 80% of it obviously, but 20% just for that one thing.
well,
It
I'm
and
working
we
through
do
this,
it
but I
even when
think
we
that
sleep.
that's,
We use it
it will,
that when we sleep.
yeah, that thing is though, you see, I'm working on a more philosophical level, but what you say is a good question. But right now, I'm focusing on whether or not there is something like the signless, because in Buddhism, the sutras say that prior to enlightenment, one has an experience of the signless, you see. And I think the signless leads more to Parmenides, the signless is like, when like, sign, when we experience life and we see signs and we appropriate it, the appearances are seized as intelligible, actionable, and owned by a knowing subject. So, so,
Well, that would be
the,
a priori like beingness, but before being was being. Like that would probably exist in that space, same as those a priori things.
so what is obscured in that case when you appropriate the signs in our minds is the signless is not the absence of symbols or conceptual thought, but the cessation, the ending of fixation on appearances as self, object, or goal. So animals are preconceptual yet sign bound. So animals are driven by signs. All animals are responding to signs. They're governed by fear, attraction, and habit. Yeah, but liberative insight, which only humans can do, lie beyond signs, not beneath it.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say something about like we kind of seem to be the exception to the rule when it comes to that a bit, because we
yeah,
can
that's
create our
different.
own like we can reboot our own circuitry and make our own operating systems from within our own selves. Like seems to be a pretty unique thing to be able to do, and other people can of course program us as well.
Yeah, that is. I think, in a sense, when we get deeper to things, I say that the appropriation of signs and saying using the signs to say what is, that things are this or that, is the deeper issue, and then the signs are instrumentalized as a means to discover things or invent new things, and
Yeah,
there's a presumption that we're coming closer to knowing things as they are, but I would
yeah.
claim it is only in the relinquishment of all signs that
Yeah,
in the
as if that
signless.
thing is a fixed thing because it's not fixed. And that is the problem is that like these saying that something is one thing, yes, it is one moment, but then in the next it may not be. It's not just that. It may be that for some very stable period of time, but it doesn't mean it is absolutely that and only that, I
Yeah,
think.
on a deeper level, all signs are empty of intrinsic nature. I mean, all signs are ultimately illusory in some sense. What I mean, because that's the way of seeming in some way. The way of seeming.
Seeming and being are different for sure.
Yeah. So I do think that is one, I guess, more attached to signs. There's some habit energy that builds up and that ties into rebirth and stuff. So I have to think about it
But
more.
that's funny because like I have this thing, it's the dot sign, and I turned the stop sign upside down and then I put the T right side up again. So it says dots with a small t. And most people just see it whenever they see it upside down stop sign and they say, why is that stop sign upside down? and I say it's not a stop sign, and then they have to like look at it again, and then they click, and it's kind of like this. It's a sign of things are not always what they seem. Sort of. It's almost like whenever people actually like pay attention to it, like, and they're like, "Whoa, that's crazy," because I seriously thought that was just an upside down stop sign.
Yeah, I would say that I don't want. I hope no one steals this idea because I do need some money too. But let me say this though: no one has given a Parmenidean twist to semiotics yet that I have found yet. I'm trying to look into that. I think if you give a Parmenidean twist to semiotics, then that could like be used against the issues we're living in, like the scientism or the industrialization. More
Yeah,
Parmenian twist.
something
Because
subtle is way
yeah,
more effective. Like, so if you could come up with something subtle that is just, I don't know, there's something, that little small shift, like it creates huge waves in our consciousness and they ripple out.
yeah,
So
I was saying that too. But
when
yeah,
you do that,
TMO. So, do you think it's strange that most of the semiotics I encountered are all Aristotelian and they're closer to Heraclitus than I don't really see any semiotics that's close to Parmenides. I think Buddhism though was closer to Parmenides initially. So
Well, I think Aristotle created the syllogism, right? So when you look at cybernetics, right, it's strongly influenced by symbolic logic, right? Especially like the book by Russell and Whitehead, right?
Yeah, that book. Yeah, no, yeah.
So
Yeah, but ultimately though, it does seem that that science though and the appropriation of science though that seems to be the conventional realm, but the more ultimate would be the signless or something, because I think it's unavoidable if you live and in the more mundane existence that I mean, like reading a book you just see a bunch of signs, or like going outside you see signs you respond to and stuff. So I think that's more parsimonious than
in a
claiming
way,
different can exist.
everything is a sign and a signal. It's like a lot of
Yeah.
things like color theory. People think like blue is calming, red is aggravation, yellow's caution or sunshine. It's like it's like, how do you create something that is symbol-less, like that
Yeah.
can have an interpretation at all, like, or you can have an awareness of it. That's kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm dealing with. Let me read you some. This is what Zazen and what the Taoist meditation is about. It's called Zhu Wang. I put it here. Zhu Wang is allowing everything to slip from the mind, not dwelling on thoughts, allowing them to come and go, simply being at rest. It is important to take a good posture to still the body and calm the mind. Otherwise, qi disperses, attention wanders, and the natural process is disturbed. Just remain empty, and there is no separation from the Tao. Then wisdom will arise and bring forth light, which is the clear chi of the person. Do not think too much about the theory of this, otherwise you are sure to disturb the mind. It is like the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. To think about stopping it halfway is a futile exercise. Just trust the inherent natural process. That's sitting in oblivion, translated and explained by Livia Cohn. So Zhu Wang is sitting in oblivion, basically the core Taoist meditation. And the Buddha did say, or maybe it was Nagarjuna, that prior to enlightenment, there is the signless. You see what I mean? The signless. And Dogen says this, Dogen, to study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be actualized by myriad things. When actualized by myriad things, your body and mind, as well as the bodies and minds of others, drop away. No trace of enlightenment remains. And this no trace continues endlessly. That's from Dogen. Yeah, and that
That
kind of
sounds kind of like suspiciously like the annihilation of annihilation.
yeah. And this is from something I wrote from my own practice. The heart of Soto Zen is just sitting, Zazen that abandons gaining ideas and does not treat awakening as something outside practice. In sitting One does not deliberately chase or suppress thought, nor make any particular state into the goal. Dogen insists that practice and realization are not two. Therefore, one should not hold enlightenment in mind as something apart from sitting itself. Zazen is not an intellectual project or a metaphysical position to adopt, but a direct enactment of non-clinging in which views and narratives arise as mere mind objects or signs and need not be grasped or rejected. So you cannot like relinquish signs with intention, with you know what I mean? Like if you say, oh, I'm no longer going to be attached, and you try to force yourself, that doesn't work. And so you have to.
It's kind of like whenever you're trying to remember something that you can't remember, if you can just usually let go of it, your mind will just pop it out for you. It's almost like that. It's very hard to do. A lot of people can't stop thinking about, like, where's that thing that I'm looking for? They can't stop looking for it in their mind. And then, but they're like kind of getting in their own way, right?
Yeah, that definitely has parallels to what we were talking about. Definitely, that parallels it. Yeah, it's not like you can force yourself to do this or that. It's a practice, like yeah.
Well, the thing about will is that it is usually short lived unless it's sustained by passion, desire, or something that is more easy than will.
That's exactly true. It's like desire is what like propels the constant stream of interpretations of more and more signs and more and more.
To know how do you I don't know. I have a hard time with that one because I want to know, but I can put it down too. It's like I can choose to put it down. That is also an act of will, but it's easier.
Yeah, exactly. I think Schopenhauer said something about the will that was interesting. It's like something you cannot will unwilling or something. Let me see here. Like, yeah, I lost that quote. I'm gonna try to find that quote. You cannot will what you will. You cannot will what you will, or something. That's what Schopenhauer said. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a kind of paradox.
I would think it would be you cannot will what you can will not.
Yeah,
Or
that too. Yeah, that ties into it.
you will not will what you will not. It's like I didn't I didn't intend, or I didn't begin, or I didn't, what was that? I wrote something, a line in a song. I have to go find it now. But it was like I didn't intend to be undone, or I didn't something to be undone. I got to go find it now because it's like doing the same thing to me that Schopenhauer quote, but I'm not going to be as fast. I'll be right back.
I think Jim Bob was talking about DNA. That was an interview we did maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But I think Jim Bob's talking about DNA. But to snicker and sort of dismiss this with this just sort of, well, we all know that it's meaningless information.
No, it's not meaningless. The sequence of bases in the gene codes for a sequence of amino acids. That's it. You're pretending there's some magic God sauce pseudo information in there, and there isn't. Get an education.
They're always going like, oh, Darwinism is going.
Yeah, but you just did that. Like, you just delusionally snickered and did the very same thing that you're saying that we do.
Hey, moron, you're the one snickering and dismissing basic science, so I get to snicker and dismiss your smug dismissal of science. If you don't like it, try actually engaging with what I say.
Oh my gosh, it's crashing and burning. Evolutionary biology is imploding. It's in crisis.
We weren't even talking about Ev Bio. We were talking about the grand narrative of the origins of life. So I doubt he's going to be very charitable.
You were not talking about the origin of life. You were talking about genetic information. You're so fucking dumb that you don't even know what you were talking about in the video or right now.
Science is in crisis. No, you're just morons. I'm sorry.
Well, that's interesting. So did he actually reply to anything other than just saying that DNA is meaningless? That's all he said and called us morons. So this is the standard scientism, smug atheism that's out there. And you'll notice, look at his smug face. And he's like just trying to out smug what he thinks we are, right? So
in this life of masculinity, when do you know to ask for help?
I think that's the hardest thing, especially when you're trained and it's deeply embedded in your brain to fight through circumstance. That emotion of saying, I'm not okay as a man, as a father, as a leader of your house, husband, boyfriend, business owner, brother, son, those things do not happen naturally in this world where we are already stereotyped of what a man should be. Nowadays, they call it being.
Yeah, so I think this is my cue to just get the fuck off of here because like this black guy with this hat just showed up. And yeah, man, I don't think this dude is a cowboy, but I definitely don't want to find out what he's selling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so blessings to all the people out there.
I found my quote real quick before you go. It's, I didn't try to do to be undone. I didn't try to do to be undone. That could be taken many ways. But I didn't come here to do things just to be undone.
I would say that this is my view. I think all appropriation of science, that is taking the science and using them for self-identification, it doesn't matter if it's true or false, or if it's neither true nor false, or if it's both true and false, all of that will prove insufficient because all science are fundamentally transient. All science are fundamentally and illusory.
I agree. Words, they suck.
Why my Italy test?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get off of here.
Yeah, okay.
Have a lovely day, guys. Much love and blessings to you.
Yeah, because the thing is that I actually do have my show in 30 minutes. So I could stick around for 20 minutes to wait for Neuro to show up. But I feel like I should just go get ready for it.
You should go get ready so you're prepared. That'd be good. He abandoned his show. He doesn't care about it.
Right. But it's characteristic behavior for sure.
It is. It's pretty typical.
Show up in the next 10 minutes.
He could, but is it really going to make that much difference? He won't be that disappointed if we end it.
Let's shut her down. Well, we can't
physically
end it.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna sit here. He can edit the end off. Yeah, it's fine.
No, it will end in 10 minutes. So if I have to pull the button, I will.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out.
Well, peace and love.
Someone's mic here is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back to normal. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, this is working out.
Shut her down. Shut her down.
So you're gonna leave? Okay. Yeah. See you later. It's nice talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just wait here for the next like 5 minutes, see if Neuro shows up. If not, I'm just gonna go get ready for my show for sure. So I mean, I'll play this for 5 minutes, see if he shows up. If not, we're out of here, folks. So yeah, blessings to all the people. And 33 seconds into this commercial, this black guy is dressed like a cowboy. So
Hey, dumbass, you did not engage with what I said about the sequence of nucleotides being the code. And I didn't call DNA meaningless. You can't even quote me properly because you weren't even listening. You're just tuning out while I talk so that you can pause at random moments and smugly whine about how smug I am. Look at my smug face, he says. How about your smug face, both right here and in the picture-in-picture? Smug to the smug power. The layers of projection here are getting so meta that it could be the plot of a Charlie Kaufman film. Say something about science, idiot.
All of their arguments are actually confidence games. And I say that because argumentation is about philosophy. It's not about peer-reviewed studies and who has more evidences. And I can pile up 55 peer-reviewed studies for my point. That's what normies think is intelligence. That's what dum-dums, that's what the ladies on whatever podcast like Not So Erudite think is smart, right? Piling up peer-reviewed papers that you get from ChatGPT, right?
Only stupid women who won't have sex with me think that referencing well-established science belongs in an argument about science. Doing actual scientific research and publishing it in journals is super gay. Obviously, all that matters is mental masturbation and throwing out random philosophical jargon. This loser is like if an inferiority complex became a person.
Because what you're referring to as information is just a sequence of bases. That's it. You have monomers that polymerize, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
So it just is what it is. That's not even a response. This is so low tier. I actually thought this guy might bring a little bit of response, a little bit of attempting to deal with what the actual argument is.
You don't have an argument. I do, and you're refusing to engage with it. The information in nucleic acids is the sequence of nucleotides. It is what it is because things indeed are what they are. Stop whining and respond to what I'm saying, numbnuts.
Because if information isn't meaningful, it's just what it is, then Dr. Dave's arguments aren't meaningful. And his words on his live stream are not meaningful and have no purpose or telos.
Oh, snap. If DNA is just stupid, godless molecules, then Dr. Dave is a dumb butthead with no meaning or purpose. Sick argument, bro. You're allergic to good faith discussion. I didn't use the word meaningless. You keep using that word. Transcription and translation. This is what genes do. Talk about this. Talk about base pairing. Talk about codons. You can't do it because you don't know what this is. Cry about it.
Guys, 3 days into this game and I have uninstalled all other games in my phone.
You don't know what molecular biology is.
You don't know what anything is. Oh, well, you don't know.
whoa, anti-Semitic, cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks, bro. Damn, he hit him with the J sounds.
No, I really think Professor Dave is Italian. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
That's
Italian.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. So he's just calling him Jay. But that's hilarious, dude. But yeah, that's wild.
Holy shit, man, you really put me in my place there. Hang on, that was such a
I
profound
want to say one
rebuttal
more
to
thing,
basic principles.
is that Professor Dave does hate Israel, though. He does hate. He has called out Israel. And
Nice.
yeah, he has. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
like
thanks for the fact checking, Buddha. Yeah, that's
he also says they're committing genocide against the Palestinians.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you can't get some of these Christian nationalists to admit that. So that's actually pretty surprising, right?
Yeah, I don't agree with Professor Dave on everything. I think he's very abrasive with the way he curses a lot, but I don't think he's really a bad person, though. It's like he's not like I don't know, like because he did like get some threats when he did like speak out against Israel, stuff like that.
Yeah, the guy looks like he couldn't hurt a fly. Like, kind of looks like he's made of like Laffy Taffy. This half sleeve shirt. Good Lord, man. Both of them have half sleeve shirts. You know, like, what are you like? 9 years old. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah. You prefer long sleeve shirts or something?
Yeah, like maybe a suit if you're gonna present yourself, or a suit
Yeah.
jacket, or good lord, look like a clown.
Principles of molecular biology that I don't think I was able to absorb it all the first time. Let's get that again.
You don't know what anything is? Oh, well, you don't know. Hey,
Okay, I got it this time. All of molecular biology is wrong because you made a whiny cartoon voice. I've been teaching science.
Does he not get the J-ish aspect of that voice? And he's rubbing his hands together. That's weird. He missed the entire joke. But yeah. Or he's pretending to miss it. But yeah.
It's incorrectly this entire time. Also, I could be wrong, but that started sounding pretty stereotypically Jewish.
Oh, there he goes. There you go, buddy.
At the end. Do you think this guy hates Jews? Does anyone want to tell him that I'm not Jewish or that racism is bad?
Therefore, it is a.
Oh, okay. So he's not Jewish. So there he is. So apparently, he's not a Jewish. So I was wrong about that. He's not publicly Jewish. He could be a Sabbatean, but yeah.
Code from a human mind, or.
Oh, Professor Dave, does the code come from the computer? Oh, is the code in the computer meaningful? Oh, or is it meaningless? Ugh.
Okay, it seems like this is the angle he's going to stick with for the rest of the video. And Hyper Pryor seems to be impressed by it since he thought it was worth $10 of his hard-earned money. Can you believe this douchebag has even a single follower?
Do you know what are the odds of even 150 amino acids lining up perfectly to make a protein and have it?
What are the odds, dumbass? Go ahead and do the math for us. 150 amino acids lining up perfectly. What do you mean lining up perfectly? They polymerize. They spontaneously polymerize. You get 150 of them in a row. There you go. You got 150 of them in a row.
Oh, everything just happens. Oh, everything happens. It just is. It just is.
Yep, this is definitely.
Damn, yo. How is Dyer getting away with the Jew jokes, man? I mean, we get shadow banned the oblivion. We're shadow banned to oblivion. This guy can make Jew jokes about content creators that have check marks. How is this possible? How is that possible? Jay Dyer's got to be some type of fed, man. And this is looking just too weird. Like, just I don't know.
What's your opinion on that one guy? I don't know him. He's like apostate, prophet guy. He was like, I don't know. He's like, he asked that guy is. Do you think he's a Fed too? That apostate guy. You know who I'm talking about?
Apostate prophet? Absolutely. Yeah, that guy's hugely a Fed. Yeah, that guy is actually supported by Israel. He's paid by Israel. Like, literally. Yeah, dude, it's wild. Yeah, man. And then also, like, him and David Wood are actually paid by Israel. And like the David Wood dude, he admitted like to attempted murder on his father and also raping 2 girls. So it's pretty wild, right? And he claims like he's a sociopath, so he could like, I don't know, man. It's just weird. But they do commercials for Israel.
There's that other guy too. What was his name again? He's like, I think his name is Spencer, Robert Spencer, or
Richard Spencer.
No, not
Right,
Richard Spencer.
Right, him and Laura Loomer are literally paid for by the David Horowitz center, right? So they're literally paid by Jews.
No, I'm not talking about Richard Spencer. I'm talking about Robert Spencer. Yeah, Robert.
Oh yeah, he's one of the major proponents. He's listed on their website. But both Richard Spencer and Robert Spencer are paid by the same organization. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I didn't know that. I know about Richard Spencer.
And Giorgiani worked with Richard Spencer to create the alt-right.
Well, yeah, of course, Giorgiani is a fucking Zionist traitor, and he's constantly emasculating and insulting Persians. He's same with Robert Zipper. I don't like either of them. Yeah. And I know Robert Spencer, Richard Spencer. Yeah, they're probably all part of the same network. You know, they're getting the same funding. They're affiliated with each other, and they're
So
part of the same network.
let me ask you this, Avian. What do you make of the Epstein files? Like, what does that mean? What do you think? What's your just general
I
view
haven't
of them?
looked into it much. You see, I kind of getting overwhelmed because I'm reading a lot. You have to read a lot, and there's a lot of stuff coming out now. I haven't had time to look into it thoroughly and stuff. But yeah, I need to look into it. Yeah.
Well, what I mean is like, if you had to guess, like, what's the connection between the Epstein and like what you're talking about with like, you know what I mean, the stuff that you're
I
talking
think
about.
that if I had to guess, I think there's a big social engineering network that people like Richard Spencer. And there's this one guy named Stephen Flowers. He was also connected to Giorgiani. That guy is into runes and other stuff, but he also claims he's a Satanist. He's a Satanist. Stephen Flowers, Stephen E. Flowers. He was also connected to Giorgiani, and Mishlove and all those people. I don't know. I think most of these so-called popular entertainers, they're probably just like, I don't know, Freemasons.
Have you ever looked into this Institute of Noetic Sciences?
Yeah, I think there's a huge crossover between the Institute of of Noetic Sciences and also the Mishlove, like his guests, right? Like most of his guests come from like Ions and Esalen Institute, right?
Yeah, that's that. Well, and that connects directly to like Joe Rogan. See what I mean? That's kind of where I'm going with it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he seemed to have looked into this stuff very deeply, and I would agree that that kind of stuff is correct and stuff. Yeah, like there's like a strange social engineering network, and probably Esalen Institute and this Institute of Noetic Sciences and all of that. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think their end goal must be some kind of neo-eugenics, some kind of neo-eugenics and normalizing genetic engineering, normalizing smart cities, normalizing a kind of Eurasian new hodgepodge uh, mysticism to unite all of Eurasia under one banner of, I don't know, some Luciferian ideology. We wouldn't be surprised if some of the people you are talking to and are close to are connected to them also. I'm not gonna name them here, like,
Well, no, well,
think I
see,
know what you're talking about.
you're not saying anything I'm not aware of. I mean, here's the thing, though. Is like here's what's funny is like a lot of the people that are a part of it don't fully comprehend what you and I probably comprehend, right? And the thing is like the Epstein files that they're releasing, they have a email of Epstein saying Dugan might be useful to us, right? So isn't that interesting? Like, why? Again, if all the same people who are running the government are releasing these files, you don't find that a little odd though? Like,
yeah,
why?
that's why I view everything as approximate, because you see, we think Russia and America are truly a conflict, but I don't really think it's like a conflict.
Yeah,
of
I agree.
ideology.
I don't think any of these countries are conflicting ultimately with each other. I mean, they may actually go and kill a bunch of people. That doesn't mean that they're actually in conflict. And if you want to see an example of this, a book I cannot recommend enough is by Anthony Burgess called The Wanting Seed. And it's about basically what you're talking about. It's about eugenics. It's about how they manufacture war. It's similar to 1984, but it's a little bit more like realistic, because it's like it's more about like before 19. It's like basically like I would say it's like a prequel to 1984 in a sense, where it's like is this kind of weird, like imagine we're in the days leading up to 1984, and it reads very similar to like how we're living today, where like you're just a normal person, you think you're teaching history or something like that, and then there's some protest, you get swept up into it, you go to prison, you get out of prison, you get conscripted into the military, and then they send you off to a war that's actually like it's like basically a stage production where they're just there to like kill off a bunch of men because they don't want them anymore, right? And that's kind of what that book's about, right? And it's about how like people in the government will pretend to be gay or be trans or be these things, but they're actually not. They're just doing it as part of the LARP. Like they're performatively just pretending to be something they're not, whether they fully understand what they're doing or not, right? So You know, if your boss tells you today you're a gay man, you'd pretend that you're gay. If tomorrow they say you're a straight man, okay, now you pretend that you're straight, right? Like, it's not about real at all. It's about a total like world stage of actors basically performatively doing something, and then real people are caught up in it. So everything seems real to them because they're the ones who have to pay for the consequences of what these people are doing, right? That's kind of the way I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would I would agree with what you're saying. That seems like an interesting book. The Wanting Seed.
I
by
mean, right, and see, here's the thing is like you might be right about people like Pilliter and stuff, but see, here's the thing is like you could say the same thing about you. Like you're in there building neural networks and stuff, so maybe you have some sort of like you know, like loyalty to the system, even if you're unaware of it. So you know what I mean? Like anybody can say that about anybody for any reason, you know. And so again, like, and I think that's kind of why I don't really like the Epstein file, the way that everybody's treating it. Like, oh, look, this answers all these questions. I think it raises a lot more questions than it answers anything. To be honest with you, even if it's all real, like it actually says, like, well, why would they release all this now? You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, yeah, well, the thing is that I don't have any deep connections. That's why I don't have a job, even though I have multiple STEM degrees. Yeah, I am very reclusive, you know, to my own detriment, you know, like yeah,
Yeah, but
so
see, but again, this is a part of the system. Like, you know, I literally wanted to go and be basically a bioethicist or, you know, be a person who created, you know, genetic therapies or something. I really did think that that was like the way to go. I probably wasn't smart enough to finish those degrees, honestly, but it's still what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And the point is that they don't want people who think outside the box. Sorry, like they want people that'll just do what they're told.
yeah, of
Right.
course. It's
So
been like that
that's the
since
big problem. You know.
like 200 or 100 years at least. It's been like
I,
that.
I
Yeah.
think, to be honest with you, I think that's one of the main reasons why they've set up schools to put people in debt. Number one, they put you in debt. Number two, you can never discharge the debt. And number three, they leave all the worst people as teachers to like vet anybody who's not willing to put up with the bullshit to get to the jobs. See what I'm saying? So then by the time you've already been hazed through all this bullshit, you're willing to like die for the system because you've already like given literally half your life away to these people and in one way or another, right? With your time, your energy, your attention, and then your debt. And then if your wife or your friends are all coming out of the same system, now you're going to be attacked, you know, horizontally as well as vertically, right? It's not just going to be. And this is why I hate the whole like leftist people, is because they don't see that it's really their own people that are going to enforce upon you. It's not really like the powers that be that enforce it, really anything. You know, it's really the people. It's your best friend. It's your mom, your dad, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers. Like these are the people who are going to enforce shit on you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's all true, 100%. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, you know, like you
The
know,
system doesn't have to do much, really. You know, like overtly at least. You know, like it doesn't really have to exert a lot of force on people to make them comply. I find.
yeah, I think recently you see, you won't believe this. I think recently I figured out that my stepfather, I think he's a Freemason. He was wearing a shirt with the compass and the G sign, and I didn't know because you know I used to live with him and other stuff. And that shirt, I was like, I pointed to that shirt and I said, "Wait, are you a Freemason?" And then he just got silent, and I was like, "What?" And like I've been living with him for a long time, my stepfather. And I just learned that he's a Freemason. Maybe that's why he got good connections and why he became like a manager for various restaurant chains.
Well, that's pretty much the way. I mean, I've never really known that many Freemasons or anything, but I definitely got the impression from the ones I have talked to that, you know, that is why, like, most of these people would literally be like digging ditches if they didn't have some group like the Freemasons to give them something to do, right? Like, and again, this is why I make fun of Filipinos a lot, because there's a lot of Filipino guys who just love the Freemasons, and some of them are nice people. From, I mean, at least the ones that I've seen, they seem like nice people, but also it's just like, you know, they're just status seeking, right? They're just like, well, you know, I want to get status and money and wealth, and I get it from that point of view, but it's also like, if they were metaphorically, hypothetically, digging ditches and throwing, kids in the ditch or something, like, I hate to say it, but they wouldn't really be doing anything about it. And again, this is one thing, like, if you do believe the Epstein files, that, there's a reason why Epstein was so close to the Philippines, right? Like, and I think it has to do with the corruption of the Catholic Church, and I think it has to do with a lot of that shit, like, to be honest with you. So,
you and I.
this is one of the things I think. I mean, again, I'm not taking anything away from the people's individual responsibility. I'm just saying, like, I've lived around Filipino people. They generally don't really, like, it's one of the reasons I don't like the Catholic Church. Like, a lot of them don't really look at the morality of what they're doing. They just say, well, I'm in the church, and so I can do whatever I want, essentially, So, I'm not saying all of
I
them are
knew a
like that, but
Filipino
that's
like
a
that.
problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, I knew a Filipino like that.
That
They're the kind of
mentality is a
people
problem,
too. They're the kind of people to, like Joel Osteen.
And I think that's what the Freemasons. That's my problem with the Freemasons. It's not necessarily like that they're all bad. It's just that if you have that mentality that you're just a part of a group and you're just going to go along to get along, like, it's just, I think there's something kind of weird about that, personally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the, I knew a Filipino who was like that, and they're the kind of people to like Joel Osteen, and they like those mega churches, which are obviously frauds that are trying to get money, and they're trying to,
Oh, damn it.
maybe he couldn't hear me, and so I don't know, and so he's coming back. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, we got to shut this down soon, Neuro. But
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you guys. Sorry, I was like,
Oh yeah, I was saying that I knew a Filipino who was like that too, and they're the kind of people to like Joel Osteen. We know Joel Osteen is just a fraud. He just wants money. He just cares about successful enterprises, businesses. It's like those mega churches that are obviously frauds and fakes. That's the But I knew a Filipino like that. They tend to be very worldly and really oriented or towards just making money and just business status seeking people. I mean that's
Yeah, and again, definitely not all of them by any means. I'm just saying, like, it's a cultural thing that happens, and again, white people have their own version of that too. So I'm not saying that white. It's just it's like, maybe because I'm not in it, it's very apparent to me, right? I've spent a lot of time around it, so it's just very easy for me to see it. But so, anyways, I know Machine's got to start a show. I appreciate everybody being here. I'll end this now. Thank you for everybody. Sorry I've been busy, but appreciate you guys.
yeah, it's all